Adolin!
What is it, my dear? My father says there's going to be a storm today.
Have you heard the news?
The news? Oh, Shalon, you know I can't read. I'm a good foreign boy. Ooh, a glyph. What does it mean?
That's the glyph for StartPlaying.com. They're teaming up with Cosmere TTRPG to make diving into Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere worlds easier than ever.
Can I put my character in little outfits?
If that's what you want, we can find anything on StartPlaying.com.
Well, this Start Playing sounds like a great deal. We better make sure we have enough Stormlight to run it.
Let's make sure we sign you up for a Start Playing account right away so that you can start looking for the perfect game master. One who likes running shopping episodes.
Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is the Nerdy.
The Wordy.
The Book Club. That's right. Welcome into the full book recap and also finishing the book for Rhythm of War. I thought you were going to harmonize with me.
Oh, I wasn't sure how long you were going to go, so it's like...
War. Because they harmonize to make Anti-Void Light. That's what I was going for, is that we're going to harmonize.
Right, yeah. I don't understand how you can harmonize and the tone, like, snaps together. That's the...
It's called magic.
Yeah. But it's cool.
What's up, chat? Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing?
So sorry we did not finish the book last week. Last week?
Yeah, it was a week ago.
But it's fine. We're going to do it today, and we're going to answer your questions in the Discord.
Are we?
If we have time.
You think we'll get to all of it?
Yeah.
Chapter 112.
All right. We're just going into it.
Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. Thank you to StartPlaying.games for sponsoring. We're going to have more ads for them soon. We have a whole deal with them, mostly because the owner is a friend and we love them. I love what they do.
They're really
I love
awesome.
what they make possible.
Yeah. Highly recommend if you're looking for a table to play TTRPGs with, or you have a table and you need a game master.
Also, just a big fan of how they run their business.
Yeah.
You know, we agreed to do these ads for them and they paid us before we made anything, and look, peek behind the curtain on being a creator. You agree to these deals,
yeah,
and then you make ads for people, and then you post ads for people, and then you've done all of the work, and then you just kind of wait.
Yeah.
And one day, between 45 days and 3 months after you've posted the ad, you randomly get paid with no warning.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And so a company that is like, we trust you, here's the money, go do your work, was really nice.
Yeah, it's pretty great. We love to see it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the ad's pretty great, so you're welcome.
You know what? I'm pretty proud of it.
It's cute.
Yeah, I like doing the sketchy kind of stuff. We need to do more sketches.
Sure.
Yeah.
In the new house.
More skits.
The new house.
Yeah. New house, new skit. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. New house, new everything. It's gonna be very different.
So, Clarus, we talked through most of the end of Rhythm of War last week. We have a few chapters left to get to, but it's been a week of thinking about the book.
Uh-huh.
Now that you're not actively reading it, and you've had a week to sit with it. You didn't do any other reading this week, right?
No.
I immediately dove into Draw Steel, the Matt Colville system that I'm playing live on a Roleplay Relay on Wednesday. I'm going to be DMing that. So if you want to come check out the new 2D10 system, come check that out with me on Wednesday. But for now, you didn't do any of the reading this week. So I want to know, did the week of sitting with this book change any of your perspective on it?
Not really. I still really like most of what happens in this section. I think that the benefit of it all happening at the end of the book is that you kind of leave off on a positive. So I think that, you know, just knowing myself as a human being and how I'm like influenced, I think that overall the book sits pretty positively for me because section 5 had some absolute bangers, and the very last moment, not the last moment. The epilogue was great, but the final chapter of the book was just so incredible to me that I do have a lot of love for this book. Linus, thank you for that super chat. Some of my favorite chapters in the series. A glass Macallan 12-year sherry cask.
That's a nice glass right there. Linus, at 11 o'clock in the morning, questionable, but, you know, who am I to judge?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
You know what? It is. Do you know who said that?
Pat McGrath. I don't know.
What?
Isn't it a country song? I don't know who sings it, but I can't remember.
Anyway.
I know it's not. Oh no, and now I've forgotten his name. I know it's not Paul Brandt because I met Paul.
It's definitely not Paul Brandt.
That he's the one who does Alberta Bound, so that was great. But I don't know who sang it. No.
All right.
Do you?
No.
Oh.
No,
well,
I know it's the guy in the Jimmy Buffett song, but I don't know who it is.
It's a Jimmy Buffett song?
Yeah, pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Isn't it? Alan Jackson, that's who it is.
I knew it was a song.
I was hoping that by the time you hem and hawed about not knowing, I would remember it, but I couldn't pull it.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I was disappointed in myself there, chat.
Yeah. That's sadly disappointing. Anyways, Linus says, a nice way to end my vacation. I hope your vacation was delightful. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, congrats on having a vacation.
It's not
that sounds delightful.
Jimmy Buffett song. It's Alan Jackson and Jimmy Buffett is in it.
It's a Jimmy Buffett song. If you were like 5 o'clock somewhere, whose song is that? Everyone will say Jimmy Buffett.
I didn't.
It might be Alan Jackson featuring Jimmy Buffett, but everyone remembers it as a Jimmy Buffett song.
That's not true.
Yeah, because of Margaritaville. Like, because of
what does that have to do with it?
Because, like, 5 o'clock somewhere is, like, in, like, the 5 o'clock somewhere is a drink at Margaritaville. There's, like, clocks in Margaritaville that are always set to 5 o'clock. And they play that song there all the time.
That's wild. I have never been to Margaritaville.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
We've not gone to a Margaritaville together? That's wild. Considering my childhood of my mom taking me to so many
I was not involved in your childhood.
I know, but like I have like a... It's like a PTSD around Margaritaville from my mother. And so I'm just surprised that I haven't like out of compulsion almost taken you to one.
Sure.
There was one on the cruise ship we were on, but we never went.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was one of the... Because I
thought we tried every restaurant.
We tried all the restaurants we could eat at for free, but we didn't go to the 3 restaurants we would have had to pay to eat at.
Ah.
Yeah, we were...
There you go.
Cheap.
Anyways, how did you feel about the end of the book? Taking a minute to think about it all.
You know, I don't think that my feelings changed. I think the stuff I liked about the book definitely stands out more in hindsight than the stuff that I didn't enjoy as much, which is nice.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about this book is that there's nothing really bad about it, but when I was actively reading it, I really was feeling the pacing kind of drag me down. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm a little bit away from it, I think that the stuff that I really liked in the book stands out so much.
Yeah.
That I'm not feeling the drag in the moment right now. Mm-hmm. So I feel pretty good about it. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I feel better about it than I think I did last week. And it's a book that I think sitting with it a little bit has helped. I also think coming to terms with it, like, you know, I think that Rhythm of War did not satisfy my expectations of what the next Stormlight Archive novel would be.
Gotcha.
And now that I know what my expectations have been not dashed, but sort of left by the wayside. Yeah. I think that my memory of the book is shining a more positive light on it than I think I necessarily felt moment to moment.
Yeah, I love that.
And especially you know, the stuff we're going to talk about today, these final chapters I think are very good. And I think set up the next book in a difficult but interesting way.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I'm at, is that the stuff that I liked stands out a lot, and the stuff that I didn't like was sort of the feeling of reading the book, weirdly.
Okay.
But not the book itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Blues Barrows, thank you so
Barrows.
much for 10
oh
gifted
my God.
memberships. Let's go.
Oh my God. Blues Barrows, 10 gifted membership. That's so kind.
Thank you. We very much appreciate you. That actually reminds me, we need to set up a poll in chat.
For what?
For the 29th book club.
The 29th book club? Have we done 28 books?
No, the day 29th.
Oh, the book club on the 29th.
The day 29.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Do we want to come back with the Lost Metal, or do we want to come back with Dungeon Crawler Carl? Is the question.
Yeah. That's going to be my birthday book club, so it's going to be a fun one.
Birthday book club.
And so I think we decided we wanted to put it to a vote.
I think if Nerdy shows poll in chat, we will get in trouble. Yeah, we probably would.
No, he can. I can't, though, you know.
It's really small. You guys wouldn't even see it.
Go to Amazon Prime and watch Cross. Not a sponsor.
How do I add a poll?
That's a great idea.
Engage with your audience. Start a poll. Okay, here we go. DCC TLM.
There we go.
Throw
that poll up in chat.
29th. Okay, we're starting a poll. This would be for we would do.
There we go.
We are going to do DCC, I think, in 2 parts. Books Blue. Oh my God, Blue changed his name.
Yeah.
Blue, is that a Hunter x Hunter reference? Because I started Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, Blue wants neither option.
Well, Blue, what do you want?
Wheel of Time was 15 books. That's fair. We're probably past 28 books covered.
Yeah, but some of these Sandies are pretty big.
Yeah, but we've also, I've done the 3, I've done Will of the Many.
Okay, we've done 15 Wheel of Time books.
Are we doing this? Okay.
We did Cradle, and you did Will of the Many.
All 3 Fourth Wings.
Yeah.
So that's 20.
And then we've done 6.
We've done 6.
6 Mistborns.
Yeah. Elantris, Warbreaker.
Yeah.
Let's not count any of the novellas, just full books.
And then 4 Stormlight Archives. 1.
So that's 33.
What? No, that would be 20.
No, that was 33.
No, because you hit 20.
Babe, I was doing it on my fingers. I promise you it was 33.
What?
Yes. And then we did all of Aragon, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. So that's 38.
I'm pretty sure you just skipped 10.
Nope.
Yeah, we hit 20, babe, and then you went 33.
Babe, I did it on my fingers for you to look at. You've got to believe the math, babe.
But you it can't.
Oh, Kushiel's Dart?
Kushiel's Dart, yeah.
That's 39. I think the next book might be 40?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very confused.
I know. Math is not you're not a math guy.
No, you said 15 and you just started it.
No, I started with 15 with 5 on one hand.
Okay, it doesn't matter. You know what? We can figure this out later. Yeah, it looks like he skipped 5.
I promise you I did not.
It's fine. We've read a lot of books, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I love doing the show. I'm a big fan of it. I've never listened to it, but I'm a big fan of it.
We've probably done more than 29 books, yes. Which is fine.
Yeah, I think the next one might be 40. I did not skip 5, chat.
Damn. Okay, it looks like the Lost Metal is winning, which I wasn't sure that it would. So
I mean, we're literally in the middle of a Cosmere book club. I'm not that surprised.
Yeah, I know, but I just wanted to give chat the option for my birthday. Yeah, I'm glad that you're feeling positively about the book. I think that
I didn't say that. I didn't say I'm feeling positively about it. I said that I'm remembering it more fondly than I was last week.
Okay, sorry. You still hate it, but less?
No. I like it quite a bit. No, it's quite good. I'm just giving you shit.
I think that one thing about book reviews and book clubs like this is that I really do believe that people's initial feelings about a thing are not necessarily going to be the same as their well thought out feelings about a thing.
100%. Yeah.
It's why it makes kind of the reacting that we do a little bit difficult, because sometimes our thoughts change after we've seen a thing. Like, our immediate reaction is not always how we feel about things later. Same goes for books. I think it's not a lot of. I think not a lot of people acknowledge that when they're making reviews of things. Like, what were my first thoughts, and then what did I actually feel when I took a minute to think about it?
Yeah, no, and I understand the people that are like, you guys like forget stuff and whatnot, and I'm like, yeah, but it's because we're so in the moment, and like it's not, in hindsight is so much easier to talk about things.
Yeah.
And I do think it is so fascinating the way people, not like the people that like I enjoy having in the community, but there are some pains in the ass who, make it a point to call out every single thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, people are gonna be how they're gonna be. But sometimes I am like, especially in reactions where they're like, you got this wrong, and I'm like, you're watching me see it for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. 20 minutes later in the episode, they do correct it. You get to watch me also see that part of it.
Yeah.
But like the idea that,
or people who comment too early about things that we then touch on later.
those are my favorite though, because a lot of them will write edit. Oh, you commented on this later. Instead of just like deleting the comment. I love edit. Oh, you did touch on this later.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Or people who are like, you didn't comment on this scene, and I'm like, I didn't have anything to say. Like,
you're right, I didn't.
it's this fine balance between wanting to talk about everything, but also like not wanting it to just be a video where I'm just talking for an hour while a video's playing. Like, it is tough.
Yeah.
I'm not Hassan Piker, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I'm not gonna fucking pause. Anyway.
Oh, well, yeah, because then the patrons wouldn't be able to sync up.
I know. But no, I do. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this book. I feel weird about it. I think that I like it quite a bit. I'm nervous about the direction it's taking the Stormlight Archive in.
Right.
And I'm a little bit nervous about the ways in which this series seems to be leaning very hard on the mental health elements of all of its characters in a way that, like, I didn't really feel like certainly not the first two books didn't feel like they were so much about that. It felt like those were like brush strokes on top of the characters.
Gotcha.
As opposed to being like what the actual narrative of the book is.
Mm-hmm.
And the way in which this series is sort of becoming such heavy-handed metaphors for specific mental health disorders, or just sort of like mental health, neurospicinesses, is something that I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it is, as the language has gotten more modern in this series, and the focus has been so internalized on these characters, the ensemble narrative of it has become a little bit lost to me in favor of these very like personal, like internalized moments. And so this series that started out as these large groups of people doing large group activities has been narrowed down into these solo activities that are so internalized. And in a way that, like, Rhythm War isn't a bad book, and I actually really like it. I think there's really strong stuff in it. But what it is, how it affects the Stormlight Archive and like the direction of this series and how it interfaces with the previous books to me, I don't know how I feel about that right now. And obviously I won't know until we finish Wind and Truth and see where this is headed.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating direction for a series that was so like group minded to kind of become this literally pacing around empty rooms by yourself sort of narrative. And yeah.
All right.
Yeah, should we get into the chapters?
Yeah, let's do it. I believe we're starting with 112.
Official ACM says the first book where Kaladin has to walk back from suicidal ideation and Shallan is blacking out from trauma, that first book. Yeah, those characters were, again, like, it's what I mean about it being brushstrokes on top of what else is going on. Kaladin is in ensemble story, and he is having these dark moments, but those dark moments interface with other characters much more frequently than they do in Rhythm of War. Like, I'm not saying that Kaladin's mental health isn't existent in the first two books, but there isn't nearly so much time spent in the first two books on just people alone thinking about the fact that they're having mental health struggles. Like, that there just isn't. Like, I'm not saying that those things don't happen in the first book. They do, right? Kaladin at the Chasm is a great scene, but Kaladin doesn't go back to the chasm every night and think about the chasm and sit at the chasm and walk around the chasm. Kaladin actively does things with other people throughout that book that are impacted by his choices that then change how he has to do his next action. And it isn't just, I go fight the pursuer, I go back and think about how I'm depressed, I go fight the pursuer, I go back and think about how I'm depressed, I go fight the pursuer, and I'm a little bit less depressed at the end, but still depressed.
Yeah.
Like, the cycle of that is so much less interactive with the plot than what his plot in the first 3 books is.
Yeah, like this book literally starts with Dalinar being like, hey man, you need a break. Like you are unwell.
Yeah.
And that is really a large theme of this book, where I agree. I think that in book 1 it was more that it was like more focused on what Kaladin was doing in like the narrative of it, with again those moments that I think were great and were very powerful and definitely present. But yeah, I think out of all of them, well, that's tough, because I do think that the Shallan flashbacks really are about her trauma. But at least for Kaladin, this book was very much like every night sucked. You know, like it was more emphasized.
But for me, it isn't about it sucking. Like, you can write a very interesting book about a person's life sucking. It is about the way in which all of these narratives are about these characters talking to kind of the same people, and just having sort of having one conversation throughout the book that doesn't, their actions don't change how they have to react to the next scenario. It is just the one scenario, right? Adolin's maybe the only character in this book whose actions sort of have any element of a roller coaster to them. But like, Shallan's book is about the spy, and there isn't a spy, right? Like,
that's not what no, that's not it.
But that's the plot of her book.
No, the plot of her book is finally kicking Maurice to the curb.
But that's not the plot. That is what happens at the end because of all of the internalized, like, thinking about her, like, feelings.
Yeah,
right?
the plot is getting to that point.
But that is the actual, like, narrative plot. That her feelings are wrapped up around, and that she's working through as she's dealing with it, is who is the spy within her thing. And
yeah, but she only thinks there's a spy for like maybe like 300 pages out of 1200.
Yeah, and that's her whole plot. Like that's the whole, and so all the but here's my point. All of her internalized stuff is very interesting. It's not that any of that stuff is bad, but that's what her book is her being sad about the fact that she has these like feelings that she can't get into. It doesn't interact with anybody. It doesn't change the way she interacts with anybody. It doesn't like, there aren't moments where there aren't climaxes and pitfalls to it, right?
I disagree. The whole point of there being a spy is that she then starts to doubt her friends and interacts with everybody differently, to the point that fucking Formless is able to come out because like Shallan can't literally handle it.
But all of that is just all of that interacts with the book by isolating her.
No, I mean like the idea of the spy being there changes every interaction she has with people from that moment forward, including Maire's and Adolin.
That's the whole.
And Pattern.
That's the whole book, is her just alone thinking about that.
Yeah, but you said it
Navani
didn't affect her interactions with other characters.
It stops her from interacting with other characters. Navani is put in a room and it stops her from interacting with other characters. Kaladin is left alone and it stops him from interacting with other characters. This series, that for 3 books was an ensemble series with all of these characters interacting with one another and pushing and pressing against each other. Not Sabarial. Oh my god, the guy who died. Fucking Sadeas being this antagonist that there's a push and pull against, so that there are consequences for people's actions. All of that, of the first 3 books, is gone in this one. And this book has all of these characters alone thinking about these problems in a way that strips the group out of it. And it becomes very isolated and very personal. It's just a different style.
I definitely agree for Navani and Kaladin for huge swaths of the book, but I cannot agree on that for Shallan.
What do you mean? She's literally alone in most of her chapters, just talking to Radiant and Veil.
That's not alone.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is. They're not real people. Vale is gone at the end of the book because she's not a person.
But they are real in a sense that they are like, okay, what makes a personality real? I think that Radiant...
They're personalities, but they're not persons. And those aren't the same thing.
But I do think that means that her interactions with the world are almost never alone because of how she's compartmentalized her brain, her feelings, her ability to function in the world.
Sure. So then you can say that Shallan is still an ensemble story, I guess. But then she's still the only one, right? Like,
and that's what I mean. I definitely agree. Like, Navani is kind of forced to only interact with Raboniel and, like, maybe, like, the sibling, even though the sibling, it's hard for the sibling to be, like, an active part of the story because the sibling is, like, a large Fabrial, obviously. And for Kaladin, yeah, he is alone for a lot of it. Or interacting with only very specific people because he's stuck, right? It's like him and Syl.
So the point that I'm trying to make, and maybe I'm not making it very well, is that there are 3 books of characters who do have mental health things going on, interacting with a bunch of people, and having good interactions and bad interactions that have good and bad impacts on their mental health. And Rhythm of War is about most of these characters alone thinking about the fact that they have mental health problems and struggling to engage with the plot because of that, right? Either not wanting to, or being too depressed to, or actively hiding from it, right? What you get is a lot of people wandering, thinking by themselves. Venli spends in her like present day a lot of time wandering, thinking by herself.
Yep, that's true.
And from a structure perspective, I'm a little bit worried that Brandon Sanderson is so hung up on trying to make a point about mental health, about every mental health. It's not like he's even picking one. He's trying to make a point about every single mental health thing.
Oh, well, of course he is. That's why Kaladin starts therapy.
And that is overshadowing the plot of everything else. It has become this, like, it is becoming what these books are about more than about these characters interacting with one another, which is what I loved so much about the first 3 books. And part of that is the plot of Rhythm of War just strips everybody away from everybody else.
Yeah.
But the place where all the characters are together, we spent the least amount of time. Like, Renarin is just not in the book, right?
Yeah.
Like, we get a little bit of Jasna Hoid, but even Dalinar, who's around people that he could go talk to, frequently spends a lot of those scenes thinking about stuff. Just kind of by himself. Taravangian is in a room thinking by himself.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not sure where Wind and Truth is going, but I am curious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Sorry. Maybe we should just get into the chapters.
Sure. What?
I don't know. I don't know if anything I say is interesting. I'm like worried that I am... I don't know. It's this weird thing where, like, talking about these books, there's so much to talk about. And... you know, there's people who are like, well, like, you say you like it, but you're not like the most positive all the time. And it's tough because I'm like, I do think that, like, the hype moments are hype, but the stuff that I actually want to talk about that I want to talk about in these books isn't like, and then Kaladin punches the pursuer with his left hand, and it's like a great punch, and then a right hand, and that's a great punch, and like, God, it was such a good fight. You know what I mean? Like, this is the stuff that I want to dive into, and I just hope it isn't too pedantic for people.
No, but this is the kind of thing that's going to be so subjective to everybody, especially in a book this large.
Yeah.
Because there is so much in it, and, like, you know, depending on how you interpret Vale and Radiant, like, what that means for Shallan and her storyline, and depending on how you felt about, like, the separation of the characters, like whether or not you enjoy that or don't, right?
Yeah.
Some people are going to be like, I like that the characters were forced to not, like, rely on one another and interact with one another and really just focus on themselves. Like, the kind of discussions that we have a lot of the time come down to personal preference, you know, like what you want to see from the book, what you thought was highlighted or not highlighted, and a lot of those things are just very subjective, right?
Yeah.
A lot of our conversations are subjective, and I feel like we try and remind people of that as often as we can, but sometimes people do forget. Sometimes people are like, well, like, you're wrong for feeling this way, and I think that's where, I think that's why I love book club, is because now we have such a awesome community of people who are like, I don't agree with that, but I had a different experience reading the book, and that's interesting, right? That's part of what makes these books good is that they are complicated. Mm-hmm. And that, you know, it's not a fucking kid's nursery rhyme where there's one moral that it's trying to teach.
There was a kid's nursery rhyme in this, but...
Yeah, sure. But again, Brandon Sanderson's got to do a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah. Sean Logan has an interesting point here. I understand what Nerdy is getting at. Thank you. Rhythm of War as a novel felt like making the Stormlight Archives a smaller world. It became a more internal story with some things happening off to the side. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and like part of that is that the Tukara Mul War feels so superfluous. Mm-hmm. You know what it is, partially for me? A lot of the stuff in this book feels like it could have happened anywhere. Whereas in the first 3 books, all of the events happen where the only places they could happen.
I mean, I think that the tower kind of makes that a little bit complicated, purely based on how it functions. But yeah, and not Shallan. I guess I mean the war, like I'm really only talking about the Takara Mul stuff. But like the Takara Mul stuff, in hindsight, it just felt like a way to get everyone away from the tower. Like, yeah, it's not really anywhere that we care about or that our favorite characters care about deeply.
They win, but there's no real stakes to it. Like they won, but it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, they basically gave it up.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean.
It's so fascinating in that like. All these characters are off to the side doing this thing that is ostensibly dangerous every day. Like they're going to war every day, and that just is so it's interesting.
Yeah. Whereas like Alethkar like mattered
yeah
so much to all of our characters, and so being there was the tension was so high.
I think that if you were to make this into a live action series, this would be so hard to adapt.
Yeah.
It would be so hard to adapt this book because you would have contracts with all these actors. You would have to write a bunch of scenes to keep them around. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just have them all go away.
It does make it very tough. Also, Arzu is on a fucking roll with the bingo today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Arzu's like, does the vote count for Nerdy and Clara's exclusive reading schedule? I'm going to say yes. And honestly, guys, you're not wrong.
Okay, that's not fair. We are not clueless of the reading schedule. We read what you tell us to. There's a big difference.
We just like being told what to do.
It's not that we don't know what it is. It's that we just tell you guys to tell us what to do.
Yeah.
Chapter 112, Terms. So we left off with Hurontario saved, Moash fleeing, blinded by the light, woke up. Anyway, Dalinar and the team.
And I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the light.
Oh, you went with a different song.
Oh, what did you think?
Blinded by the light.
I don't know that one.
Really? In the middle of the night, I'm blinded by the light. Oh,
Is
wow.
Is that about driving?
I don't think so.
Like the headlights? I don't know. I've never heard it, so I have no idea. Anyways.
Arzu says, I think I will add Nerdy as being unnecessarily apologetic to the bingo.
Honestly, fair,
Jesus.
Yeah.
I just want the show to be good, and I don't think I'm doing a good job of that. Chapter 112. Dalinar and everyone come back, and they're like, hey, Hurontario is fine.
The span reads are working again.
We have cleared the urethra.
Is the bondsmith.
Yeah.
And Dalinar's like, great, I'm really tired. And Odium shows up.
Yeah.
Odium is like, all right, we're making a deal. We're setting terms. And Dalinar's like, yeah, there's a piece of paper that, oh, you got it. Great.
Yeah, it's really good that Odium can pull objects into the dream.
I mean, yeah. It doesn't say he can, like, use his magic to, like, affect people, but yeah, objects don't seem to be an issue, so.
Sure.
Yeah,
he is literally a god, so like it's dumb of me to complain. But
Odium
was literally like, everything. I have to have a connection.
He might not have actually pulled the literal piece of paper. He might just manifested the paper because he can see it, because he can kind of see future stuff, so he can see, I don't know. It doesn't matter. He
Doesn't
pulls
matter.
out the
It
paper and is like,
truly does not matter.
You didn't write this.
Yeah, and so he immediately kills Hoid, right? Because Hoid interfered.
No. And it's Cephandris?
Cephandris? No, so yeah, Cephandris has written some terms, and Odium and Dalinar begin to negotiate. And Dalinar, for some reason, really trusts Hoid. Like, Dalinar shows more trust in Hoid in this chapter than I really thought existed between the two
Well,
men.
because he straight up fucking says, I don't really trust Hoid, but I really don't trust Odium. So we're going to go with in his mind, it seems like lesser of two evils in a way. It's like, well, Odium definitely can't be trusted even 1%, but I'll take the 1% that I can trust Hoid.
Yeah.
Which is fair. And that is absolutely
Dalinar
fair.
goes a little bit beyond that. Dalinar chooses to follow Hoid's plan, even though Odium gives terms that are good for Dalinar.
But then he doesn't.
No, he does.
No, they scrap the whole fucking deal.
No, but yes, but what matters about the deal is that Dalinar pushes for a deal with Odium that does not allow Odium to leave the system.
See, that is because of honor. He's not trusting wit in this situation. He is trusting that honor died to keep Odium here, and that must have been for a good reason. And so he puts his trust in honor and is like, no, if honor didn't want you to leave the system, obviously that would mean very bad things, and so I'm gonna trust honor blindly, basically.
Yeah, so they agree to a contest of champions in 11 days.
Yeah.
So that we can have 10 days in the next book.
So we can market it, you know what I mean? Like, we got to put out flyers and sell tickets and build a whole new stadium in the middle of a
10 days
field.
is just not enough time. I thought you haven't seen Angels in the Outfield.
I haven't.
Anyway.
Wait, what?
Don't worry about it.
I've only seen the commercial. Remember, it was on the beginning of a VHS
if you build
tape.
it, they will come. So yeah, they make this deal. Basically, if Dalinar wins the Contest of Champions, because he's going to elect himself. He says he's going to elect himself champion. I don't think that he will.
Dalinar? You don't think so?
No, I don't think he's going to end up being the champion by the end of the book.
Why?
Because if he was going to end up being the champion by the end of the book, then why is the book so fucking long? The events of the book are going to convince Dalinar of who the actual champion should be. Right?
I don't know.
If nothing changes
Who the fuck would it be?
over the course of the book, why is it so fucking long?
Well, that's assuming that the Contest of Champions is at the end of it. Maybe the Contest of Champions
I'm assuming
is the
that the
very
Contest of
first thing,
Champions is at the end of
and
it.
Dalinar loses, and the rest of Wind and Truth is Dalinar alone in hell, learning how to lead the armies of Roshar into the Cosmere.
That would explain why people don't like it.
Yeah, it would.
That would be a wild choice. So Dalinar is going to be his slave and be affused if he loses.
Yeah, basically Odium owns his soul.
And the current lines will be maintained. So either Odium wins, it's sort of a weird deal where Odium wins and he basically only gets Dalinar and the land he already has.
Sorry, Arzu put popcorn emojis and then called popcorn emojis for a bingo.
The weird thing about this deal is that Dalinar doesn't speak for everyone.
Well, he makes that point of I kind of get why Yasna thinks that a monarchy is a bad idea.
Yeah.
This is a lot for me to have to decide, but I have to decide it right now.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they're like, okay, well, if I lose the Contest of Champions that we're establishing in this dream world, where the war will be over, and you'll keep your land, and I'm like, yeah, I'm really sure the Shin are gonna feel great about the Shin don't give a shit about your fucking deal with Odium. There's a lot of people who don't give a shit about your deal with Odium that are not a part of your alliance. You could maybe at best agree to things for your alliance, but he's like, this is rubber stamping. It's one of those wild things where I'm like, God, the ego on this man. But also, I just can't imagine that no matter who wins, that the war is at all close to being over.
What do you mean? If Dalinar wins, Odium stops.
We just got our
Fighting.
mortgage.
Wait, really?
Yeah, we just got an email saying it's complete.
Thank fucking God.
It's
guys.
done, chat. We just got our mortgage.
Guys.
We've been waiting for so long for this to be confirmed.
Guys, it's been so stupid. We signed it weeks ago and we're like, oh, it's done, it's fine. And then they kept asking for more shit. And I had to explain to the bank how fucking exchange rates work.
Yeah.
Because these people don't know what they're doing. It's fine. It's good. I was like, did I like spend money on stuff and we're actually not gonna get it's fine. It's fine. Thank fucking God. All right.
Back to this.
Yeah, that is such a relief. Holy shit. There's a super chat. Sleet Sheep, thank you so much. Just saw the One Piece videos. RIP. One side, love that you're doing Hunter x Hunter is my favorite series of all time.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter, really fun.
Okay,
I
good.
think you would actually love it.
Okay.
It feels very Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood vibes to me.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Except without the fascism.
Fair.
Yeah. No. So here's the problem with their plan. I think it is a fine plan for the two of them, right? And I think this okay, I want to be very clear. This chapter is really good. This negotiation is really, really cool, which is why I brought it up last week. I'm disappointed that Teravangian is Odium now because I liked this chapter so much, right? I liked this negotiation so much. I wanted to see the satisfaction of these two people going against each other because I enjoyed the negotiation of this. And so Teravangian being Odium, and we'll get to that scene.
It changes
that
things,
scene
for sure.
fucking rocks. It's so well written. But I was into this chapter. And I was like into it.
Yeah, which is why Odium kind of changing hands.
Immediately getting rid of this character that I just got very into the negotiation on felt like this like weird, especially because it's immediately after.
Yeah.
Felt like this weird moment of me being like, no, wait, we just established something that I was into.
Yeah. Also, Arzu as well, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it.
So like the thank you. Oh, yeah, thank you, Arzu. That's very kind. That sticker's very cute. For me, like I liked this negotiation so much that to then have the character, half of the character do the negotiation that set up this deal, just immediately be taken off the board in the next chapter felt like, okay, cool, I guess. Like,
but I do also understand Sanderson's reasoning for it. Like, Odium hasn't had a single win, like the whole series, and so I can understand him being worried.
That's not true.
Okay, what?
He controls a significant amount of the planet.
I mean, like, the Fuse do, but they don't... He straight up says, like, they don't all listen to him.
Sure, but, like, he controls Alethkar and Herdaz. And they've dug it in a way where, like, Yasna's like, there's no fucking way we're taking it back.
I mean, sure, yeah, I guess, but, like, he's just lost so many times that, like, you know, going back to Wheel of Time, we were like, wow, like, the Forsaken kind of suck at everything that they try to accomplish. So,
I don't think the Fused have that problem.
No, but Odium kind of does. Odium, like,
but
lost
Odium
Urithiru.
is the Fused.
But he's not, though.
That's insane. There are no Odium soldiers that aren't on the Fused.
What?
Like, Odium doesn't have a physical presence in this war outside of the Fused.
A physical... I'm not sure what you mean.
What do you mean by the Fused aren't Odium? They follow his orders.
Not all of them. He straight up says that.
Sure, they have, like, their independent thought, but they are his army in this war.
But Dalinar also says that, okay, Odium, you're trying to train up your soldiers for the greater war of the Cosmere. You've basically broken 70% of the Fuse because they're all fucking insane.
Yeah.
So he's kind of lost already in a weird way in that regard.
I do agree with that, but the idea that Odium hasn't won anything in these books is deeply flawed to me. The creation of the Everstorm was a huge win. Like, yes, Dalinar survived, but they've survived in this crazy retreat. The end of Words of Radiance is a win for Odium. The middle of Oathbringer is a win for Odium. Like, yeah, they get the tower back at the end of this, but the fact that they infiltrated the tower and killed as many people as they did is a win for Odium. Like, Odium's had successful plans. It's not like in Wheel of Time, literally nothing the bad guys do is ever successful. Ever. There's not a single successful moment for the bad guys in 15 fucking books. They are horribly incompetent at every single turn, even though they have significantly stronger magic.
Lanfear does pull Moraine through the archway.
Moraine tackles Lanfear through the archway.
Well, yeah, because Moraine was going to lose.
Yeah, and they both live.
Well,
That just has the effect of taking them off the board for a couple of months.
yeah, I don't know. We don't need to get into Wheel of Time spoilers. But yeah.
But the end of Words of Radiance is a win for Odium. And the middle of Oathbringer, when they take Alethkar, they fucking take Alethkar.
Mm-hmm.
And they still have it. Like, Odium has had huge successes in these books. And the idea that because some of in the last book and a half of On Page, we've mostly seen our heroes win a little bit. I don't think it's fair to say that Odium isn't successful at all.
Yeah.
He's succeeding in big, bad ways in this series. Ellikar's dead. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't agree with the idea that Odium has lost all the time. He really hasn't.
Yeah.
He suffers a defeat at the end of Oathbringer, but even that is just that the thrill gets captured.
Well, he's like, I've failed to like make Dalinar my champion. I failed to like break Kaladin. Like, yeah, I think that there's a lot of ways in this book in which he has failed. So, yeah.
Sure.
Linus, thank you for being Nerds Radiant. Appreciate you. How much of the deal is Raise versus the power? I mean, it's all the power, right? Because it holds Taravangian to the same thing. Like, the deal is literally the power, right?
But the power isn't... Yeah, and look, I disagree with that. I don't think that Taravangian should be held to the deal. If he wants to be held to the deal, I think that he could choose that. I don't think that necessarily he should be held to it.
Yeah.
But it's because there does seem to be a level of power over power in the Cosmere where, like, agreements... There is a power that binds people to their agreements that we never really get explained to us. That supersedes God. Like, gods cannot break their word, which means that something has power over them, right? In order for them to not be able to break their word, there has to be a power that supersedes their power that they can't break. And so whatever that power over everything is, whether it's like the laws of the universe or like the Dawn shards or like, you know, something, you know what I mean? Something like that. Those 4 Dawn, was it the Dawn?
Dawn Singers?
No, the Dawn Shard that they find in the cave in Dawn Shard, right?
Oh, okay.
There's the 4 pieces that they use to rip apart Adonalsium. The power that powers that must be what holds people to their oaths. Because otherwise, like, agreeing to something doesn't actually have any power over you. So there has to be a power that enforces that.
Yeah, there does seem to be some kind of power in oaths that is...
we just don't know what that power is.
Yeah.
Officially, Sam says the shards can break their word. It just leaves them open to attack from other shards, if I recall correctly, which implies that there is some sort of power structure over them.
Yeah, he said it would leave a hole in his soul for cultivation to kill him.
Right. So whatever the power structure that enforces that is,
yeah,
I don't think it is sentient, but like the shards are if they're attached to a human.
Yeah.
But if the shard isn't attached to someone, it isn't sentient, which implies that the sentience of the shards comes from the person that becomes attached to the shard. And so Taravangian and Ray's are not the same person.
No.
They're different sentiences. The power is the same, and the way it corrupts them is the same.
Yeah,
But
sure.
they are it is a functionally different character.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they
agree to this. Yeah, they agree to the deal.
Chapter 113, Emotion. Navani goes back to Raboniel's body and gets a fucking jump scare because Raboniel is still alive.
Kill me.
Raboniel made more of the light so Navani can stab her.
Yeah, and then my favorite part about this is that Navani writes a note that's like, leave this body here for the queen, please.
It says, yeah, do not move this body without talking to the queen. Yeah. It's like, all right.
And then we cut to Taravangian. Taravangian is having a real dumb day. He's a stupid head.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's going on, you guys? And then Zeth shows up and is like,
Rocky?
fuck you, dude. What the fuck is wrong with you? And then Odium shows up and is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Well, actually, no. Jahanat shows up and with...
Not actually, but
is she not in the mirror
spren.
here?
No, she...
That was in the previous thing.
The stones that hold the corrupted spren, Taravangian's like, don't break those. And Zeth is like, bet, motherfucker, and breaks them. Which then brings Odium, because Odium can sense the corrupted spren.
This scene... Okay, look. I know that I don't like that Odium's just a different character now. I've said that. This scene fucks.
Yeah.
This scene fucks so hard.
Yeah.
The way Brandon wrote it is one of the more tense moments in the series.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
This whole scene is crazy. Up until he like draws Nightblood, is like Zeth's anger is so palpable, and I think that I honestly would have given Zeth more in this book to build to this moment, but his anger is so palpable and so visceral, and you just think that this is about Zeth and Taravangian, and like I thought that what was happening here was that when Odium showed up, his anger was going to corrupt Zeth, and that Zeth was going to become Odium's champion.
Oh.
So this whole thing, I'm like, oh, Taravangian's going to realize he fucked up, and he gave Odium the champion for the contest.
Okay.
And so the twist of Odium or Taravangian pulling out Nightblood, and that is what kills Reyes, and then leaves the body for them to find, so that they think Taravangian, or for Zeth to find, and he thinks Taravangian's dead.
Yeah.
All of that was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really, really cool.
Well, you got very lucky that Nightblood just kind of turns the body into a husk, so you can't identify it.
Oh, very lucky, yeah.
Because otherwise, like, Zeth would be like, wait a second, that's not Taravangian. Who just died?
Well, and like, realistically, that body shouldn't look anything like the people of Roshar.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it would be sort of like being, like, a Neanderthal body being left behind and someone being like, oh, hey, that must have been nerdy. And it's like, no, that is a different skull shape.
Right. That's so interesting.
Like, Reyes wouldn't, like, phenotypically be similar to the people of Roshar at all.
Unless there's no evolution in this world, but that seems odd.
Well, Brandon is Mormon, so.
Yeah.
Do Mormons believe in evolution, actually? I don't know.
He seems to be kind of like Mormon light. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah, for
he
sure.
does a lot of questioning of religion and gods and such.
That was an inappropriate joke, because I actually don't know if Mormons believe in evolution or not.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you. We should call Holly.
Okay.
No, don't.
Give me 1 second.
No, her
chat.
phone is legitimately not working. She
Why?
texted me today. She's like, I can't leave Instagram on my phone. The app won't close. Her phone won't turn off.
Oh.
Yeah.
She can't get out of Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call her on Instagram. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna call her Mormon friend.
They
really
don't
fast.
have an official stance. I want to say ex-Mormon friend. Oh my god. I can't. Jesus Christ. You're welcome.
Do you think she's
chat.
gonna pick up?
This is great podcast content.
I do think this is great podcast content.
Just waiting for someone to pick up the phone. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's great.
this is what people do on podcasts. They call people all the time. A lot of podcasts I listen to, they call people. This is not working well.
Well, I told her to try and let her phone die to see if
Damn
it
it,
fixed it.
Clarice. Okay, yeah, it's not even connecting. So anyway.
Sorry.
No, yeah, it's just it is interesting that, like, because Reyes isn't even like from this. Reyes isn't even from the planet that humans are originally from.
No, yeah, he's yeah, they're from. Fuck, I don't even know. You know what? Not even sure where the first humans who killed God came from.
Like
maybe they weren't even the first humans. Who knows?
One thing I find really fascinating about modern life is that our skeletons are changing shape. And because because our ancestors didn't sit nearly as much as we do.
Yeah.
And like their our backs and like our upper spines are adapting to how much we look at computers and phones and things.
That's
and
bad.
I mean, it isn't, right? It's one of those things where like it's only bad if you think that like there's a right way for our spine to look, but like our spines have changed throughout thousands of years to adapt to life changing, right?
Yeah.
We used to walk on all fours. We don't anymore. It's just sort of the like evolution of life. But yeah, it is so fascinating in this. I was like, would Rays even look like Taravangian?
I don't know.
Like, would his skeleton be, would he have the same kind of bodily structure?
Yeah, that is a good question.
Yeah, you know, as much as these are fantasy books, Brandon Sanderson hasn't played around with sort of the like races nearly as much as other fantasies do.
No,
Like it really is humans everywhere, and
Yeah.
then obviously we get the listeners in this one.
that's it's kind of, and I guess the sleepless, which are just weird crab people.
Yeah, Roshar definitely leans more into fantasy races than any of the other Cosmere books we've done have.
because we've got the Khandra, but again, those were like created.
But Khandra aren't. Yeah, that's not an evolutionary thing. Those are literally like goo blobs
created by
made from humans,
demigod.
though. And
Yeah.
even I was about to call them kobolds, the Kolos.
Kolos,
The
yeah.
Kolos are also humans,
True.
right? Like for how fantastical the Cosmere is on most of the planets, it's just humanity.
Right. Or it has come from humans.
Yeah, and I think that is probably a side effect of that's less Brandon Sanderson not being creative, because obviously he's been very creative, and I think that the 16 who killed Adonalsium were all humans, and so the
Yes.
worlds that they created were all human. You know what I mean? Like none of them imagined species outside of themselves except for whoever created Roshar.
Right, because that's Ruin and Preservation came together to create Scadrial.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense that everything would come from human-like forms.
Yeah. Lions Fiction, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you, Linus.
Given Dalinar didn't know Parshendi had women, would they really notice skeletal differences?
Look, Zeth might, Dalinar would not.
I think that Zeth is smarter than... I think that everyone is smarter than Dalinar.
Dalinar's real good at hitting stuff.
But no, Roshar does have fantasy races, but they're just kind of the only ones.
Unless the Sleepless and stuff also came from humans. Like, who knows? I don't think that the singers did.
Yeah.
But the Sleepless, I don't know enough about, so it's tough to say.
Well, and who knows if, like, the listeners might have existed on Roshar before Adonalsium was split, right? We don't know that anyone created the listeners. This planet might have existed on its own.
Yeah.
And then when humans came in, like, there was no shard involvement on Roshar until the humans came from the what's that planet that they come from? The one they destroyed. It's not Braze, it's the other one.
The one they destroyed.
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
But yeah, it is interesting, you know, this series is so human centric, but Ashen, that's what it's called. So Taravangian kills Odium and then becomes Odium. And I really don't know how I feel about it, but I'm hesitant.
The scene was cool.
The scene was so fucking
the
good,
scene
though.
slapped.
It's one of my favorite scenes in the book.
Yeah.
Which is so weird because I don't like the implications of it. You know what I mean? It's one of those weird things where I'm like, God, I'm so fucking into the way you wrote this.
Yeah.
And I also don't know that I like what it means for everything else. That's how I feel about Rhythm of War. Fuck, I like how you wrote this, and I don't know how I feel about what it means for everything else.
Okay. That's fair.
114, Broken Gods. Ooh. We start with... Oh, can I also say this?
Sure.
We didn't talk about the epigraphs a lot. Did we talk about it last week? The L ones, they're fine.
Yeah, you were like, man, they're like my least favorite.
They're like
It's fine.
aggressively fine.
Yeah, they did not move the needle for me.
Yeah. Relaine has his little Miss-Bren. He's a little radiant now.
Little corrupted.
A corrupted
Yeah.
Miss-Bren, but it's still a Miss-Bren. And he walks Venli and the other listeners to the Oathgate. And Kaladin pops in and lets them go. And they have a cute little goodbye.
Yeah.
And on the other side is Leshwi.
Yeah, gonna go with the listeners.
Yeah, I'm sure Odium is going to feel totally normal about that.
The way of the listeners.
Taravangian might not care.
Oh, Taravangian might not.
That's interesting.
I don't know, yeah.
Taravangian might let them go and be like, I don't... Because Taravangian essentially has 10 days, right? Taravangian might be like, look, those 5 the 5 fews that leave, not worth it.
Yeah.
Literally not worth sending people after. We have
I'm
10 days to
busy.
do... If he had a year, he'd go after them, right?
Yeah.
But he's like, I have 10 days. He kind of has to go into what is the most efficient use of my time mode.
Yeah.
And does Leshwi matter that much?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think that the Mist Spren is meant to have some kind of connection to the mists on Scadrial?
No,
No.
not at all.
The mists and like being sentient is not going to come into play.
No, I think the mists on Scadrial are so divorced from the idea because they are. The mists are a big idea, and the mist spren are small idea, and so for them to be tied to each other, I think would be very odd. Because the mists are God, right? And the spren are, I guess, they're piece of God. So like maybe
I don't know. Just thought it was interesting. Like, it could be anything kind of spren, and Brandon Sanderson chose mist spren, so I don't know.
Mist makes sense to me though. Mist is
Sure,
like
yeah.
mist as a human concept. Mist is one of the scariest things on the planet, right? Especially in countries that have a lot of it. The mists encircling your village and not knowing what's in the woods late at night when we didn't have like electric lights and things was the formation of a lot of early folklore and tales to keep your children from sneaking into the woods at night, or in the mists you don't know what's in them.
Yeah.
Right, they swirl around these things that are going to eat you.
Yeah.
And so I think that mists being something that humans latch onto as something to be scared of enough that they think about them enough to create spren of them isn't surprising to me.
Yeah.
They're something that in so many of our fairy tales and folklore, we've personified the mists as being sort of intentionally mischievous, intentionally sort of dangerous.
Yeah.
And so for the humans on Roshar to have personified the mists enough for them to become the level of like a sentient spren isn't that surprising to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just thought it was interesting, especially because the whole series is called Mistborn.
Oh, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I just, because of the way in which that series makes the mist so directly tied to God's influence on the world, I would be surprised if they connected the two to make them the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we come back to Taravangian, who's like figuring out his new god powers. Oh yeah, he just feels cultivation coming near.
Cultivation comes over and is like, "Hey, you wanna go on a date? You're new.
Let me teach you." He was like, "How did you know I would be ready for this power?" And she's like, "I didn't."
He's like, "Girl, I was guessing."
Literally anything was better than Raise at this point, so like, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Happy to have you here.
We come back to Kaladin, and we watch Tef gets soul cast into stone. They found like a basically the like terracotta statues, and they found all of the radiants of old have been turned into statues there, and that's where they've been laid to rest. So Tef gets turned into stone in a really beautiful ceremony. I thought the grieving of this chapter was, I think that sometimes with Kaladin's depression, it almost gets a little heavy-handed in this book. And I thought that this chapter did a really good job of lightening some of that depression out of it. Yeah. This could have been the roughest chapter, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I actually think that was the right choice. I think that Kaladin has already had sort of that rock bottom moment with his feelings with Teft.
Yeah.
And this really became far more cathartic. And I thought it was very successfully cathartic with him and Bridge 4 and the statue. And even after, Bridge 4 leaves to go to the bar and Kaladin is left alone and he hugs the statue, it could have... This book is very heavy. And I think the choice to make this scene not heavy, even though it justifiably could have been, was just a really good decision on Brandon's part for me personally. I thought that he brought the right vibe here to allow this book to not end with just this like lead weight in it.
Yeah, and it felt more like a celebration of life, They talk about celebrating in a way that Teft would have approved, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was really about him.
They're all going to go do Fire Moss together.
Well, I don't think so. Chapter 115.
Well, no, I guess we talked about this with...
She's going to teach him.
Yeah. She's going to teach him how to use his powers, not knowing that he is planning to win. He's like, how can I beat Dalinar?
He's like, I'm going to save them all. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
From what?
From you?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here?
It's the problem with Taravangian being like, I'm going to save them, is that the only thing he's been trying to save his people from is Odium.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what are you saving everybody from?
Yeah.
And I know that there's bad shit in the Cosmere. I get that. Like, maybe it's Trell. Maybe Trell's the problem. But it really gave me, like, I'm going to save them from what? Like, what is the problem? Because it doesn't seem like there is one. I bet he is Galactus, right? Like, more Trell is Galactus, but
I don't know. Yeah.
Chapter 115, L looks forward to ruling the humans.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
We start with Adolin and Shallan, and they use a Sion to talk to Mraize.
Love it. Yeah. And Sion who's unbonded, which is very useful according to Wit. Love that.
Yeah. So Sions are now everywhere.
Well, they are around.
Look, moving forward with the Cosmere, the technology of different planets being on different planets is it's gonna get
wonky.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shallan basically tells Mraize to go fuck himself. Finally.
Yeah.
And he's like, you just made an enemy of us. And she's like, all right, fucking bet. Like, I'm not scared of you or your boss or your boss's boss.
Can I be honest?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a huge misstep on Shallan's part.
Why? Because
Mraize is in Urithiru with a ton of people that you do care about.
Nope. No, wait, she literally says, like, got my brothers out. Like.
That's not everyone that Shallan cares about. And Shallan isn't going to be in Urithiru for, like, 3 weeks. Maybe. Like, you've given Mraize a ton of time to prepare for your arrival. The idea that you're gonna win that immediately, the idea, her confidence that she's like, when I get there in 3 weeks, you better have packed up all the Ghostbloods, who I'm definitely aware of all of them, and you better have left. Like, she really does make an enemy of him here in a way that I don't know, man. I'm worried for Shallan in book 5. The Ghostbloods aren't like some punks that she can beat up. Mraize might be a Radiant now. You know what I mean? Like, her confidence that she is so far above the whole organization that she has been led around by the nose by for the last year and a half, and that she has the power and ability to defend the people she cares about and herself from them, and that she could even beat them. Good for her. Good for her. It's a great scene. She fucking crushes it. But I am, like, legitimately worried for her. Because Mraize has prep time now.
Yeah, but the only people who are not able to defend themselves, like, she took care of. Like, she cares about Dalinar. I think it's reasonable for, like, Shallan to assume that Dalinar can take care of himself.
I'm more, for sure. I'm more worried about other people within the tower, but I'm also more worried about her when she shows up. You know what I mean? Like, how does she defend herself against an organization that even when she was inside of it, she didn't really understand?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They have been able to work behind the scenes, behind everybody's backs for multiple books, and they know secrets about the, like, connected universe that you are barely beginning to understand.
That's what Wit is for.
Well, yeah, hopefully. I'm not saying this is a bad move. I'm not saying it's a bad writing. I really like the chapter. I think Shallan's very fun in it. I love her finally having a spine. Like, it's great. But my first reaction to it was like, oh, girl, like,
who's paying?
This guy knows a lot more than you do. You're threatening. You don't know who Thydakar is. Like, you know what I mean? It's like threatening. Galactus. Someone is like, Thanos is my backer, and you're like, I don't fucking care who Thanos is. And then you meet Thanos, you're like, wait, Thanos throws moons at people? Oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have gone so hard.
Yeah, sure.
She had to. There's no other way for her to go here. She didn't kill Kedek. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I understand it, but at the same time I was like, oh girl, no. Yeah. You're not stronger than the entirety of the Ghostbloods.
Well, she has 2 shard blades, so maybe she is.
She do be rocking 2 shard blades. Yeah. She do be rocking 2 shard blades.
Yeah, we do find out that her old friend is Testament.
She can't summon that shard blade, though, right?
It says in the book, literally, she has 2 shard blades. I'm assuming she can't summon it. It'll just scream in her brain.
Yeah, I don't know that I like that. It's the same problem I have with the Cosmere RPG, which is that like you can be a shard bearer, which sounds so cool, but I know what that means. So it's going to be really hard to play a character and be like, one day I know my character's going to find out that he's been using the dead body of a spren.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is sort of the problem with it is sort of the problem with the Cosmere RPG is that there's so like one of the things that you can do as a listener is that you can take dull form in order to hide among parshmen. But that implies that like we're gonna role play slavery in a way that I'm like, I don't know that I want to do that.
Fair.
Like I don't know that I really want to like play the other slaves in the scene with you as the game master.
Yeah. Mispronounced name. Welcome back to the Nerds. Radiant. Testament killed Tin.
Yeah, we did find that out.
Yeah. Yeah, which is so interesting. Did it scream then? I don't remember.
The cryptics might not scream. They might just go, Shalon.
Jesus Christ. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I know that she has 2 Shardblades. I'm not saying that she doesn't have 2 Shardblades. I'm saying, can she summon Testament as a Shardblade without hearing it screaming in her ears the way that, like, Kaladin heard? That's the point I'm making. I know she could technically summon both of them, but can she do that?
Does she want to?
Well, actually, can she summon Testament as a Shardblade?
Yeah, she did it.
How is it bonded to her, though?
She has 2 bonds. One of them is just broken.
So if you're the one who made your Shardblade a Deadeyes, you can still summon it as a Shardblade
in the same way that like
without
a
a gemstone.
Yeah, I'm assuming that bond takes the place of the gemstone.
That's wild.
Yeah. That's some fucking fuckery.
Yeah, she has done it, but why didn't she hear Tin screaming then?
Testament.
Sorry, Testament.
Oh, Arzu says that because that was their original bond, she might not scream. Right? Like, Shardblades just get passed around to, like, new people or, like, no, fuck it. But if it's your original Spren / Shardblade, maybe it doesn't scream.
Or maybe she just heard the screaming and was like, oh, Formless, shut up.
Maybe. You know what?
It was one of her altars that she was trying to push down.
Could be. It could be.
That's dark. We get Shalon. Oh, do you know who Thydakar is?
No. Do you?
I think it might be Marsh.
What?
I think it might be Marsh.
Why? I don't think it's someone who's been born anytime recently. I think it's going to be like someone that Wit knows from like back when Adonalsium was split. Because if Wit has survived that long, it stands to reason that there are other people who are not gods but have also survived that long.
Oh, I was just... there's no one like that on Scadrial. And I'm pretty sure that's where Thydakar's from. So I think that it's someone who's like powerful and immortal-ish from Scadrial, and I don't think it's Kelsier. I don't think he would run the Ghostblood.
Maybe, hear me out. Maybe it was the Lord Ruler, and Mraize is gonna go back and be like, wait, the Lord Ruler's dead?
Oh, that's interesting.
No idea when this takes place.
Yeah.
So Thydakar could be the Lord Ruler.
No, this takes place during Mistborn Era 2 because of Sazed's letters in the epigraphs.
Oh.
I don't think Sazed's letters are from 100 years in the future. I think they are relevant enough to the events of this book that Sazed is looking... this takes place during Mistborn Era 2 because Sazed is looking for wax.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It could be Kelsier.
I just don't think Kelsier would run the Ghostbloods.
I don't think so either. That seems very strange that Kelsier's like, ooh, capitalism. Oh, maybe Thydakar is... Wax's uncle.
Suit? He's not that powerful, though.
No,
He's also dead.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Fuck.
interesting for it to be someone who we've seen die.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. I just thought it would be funny if it was the Lord Ruler.
Mispronounced name says Hoid says he kicked Thydakar's butt once.
Yeah.
Who's the only person we've ever seen Hoid commit violence against? Who's the only person
Thank you for that super chat.
we've ever seen Hoid commit violence
I
against?
don't think I've ever seen Hoid hit anyone.
Kelsier.
Really?
Yeah, he went in the dream space after Kelsier dies in secret histories.
Oh, because Hoid jumps through the fucking
Yeah.
tunnel. But I wouldn't say that was really violence.
I mean, Kelsier didn't enjoy it. So maybe it is Kelsier?
But why does Kelsier become a fucking venture capitalist?
Because Trell's taking over. It's to bring Stormlight back to fight Trell. They're trying to find an investiture to fight Trell. Like, maybe the Ghostbloods are going to other planets to find investitures that they can bring back to Scadrial to save it from the invasion of Trell.
And they're just sending ruthless agents who kidnap and sell children?
I mean, Kelsier was raised in a time... Look, I'm just saying Kelsier isn't exactly a paragon of doing the right thing.
Sure.
Kelsier is a do what is necessary kind of guy. I'm just saying, I love Kelsier. He's a great character. He's not morally the most upstanding person in the Cosmere.
Maybe it's the God King from Warbreaker.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think so, but yeah,
No idea.
maybe. Anyway, we need to move on because we need to get to your questions. So, we cut over... Shallan is like, I want to go to other planets. That's an important end of Shallan's POV here. Venli and the group, they find the people on the Shattered Plains, and it is their friends. They very briefly are like, fuck you, Venli. And she's like, yeah, but I can sing. And they're like, damn it. We fucking love thespians. And so they allow her to stay. And they're like, this is how we survived. And it's just a fucking chasm fiend. Because apparently they've domesticated chasm fiends now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. They are buddies. I'm assuming it has something to do with singing and tones and such.
Yeah, it's the pure tones of Rashar, I'm sure.
Yeah. But, Jackson is there and bonds a sprint and heals. Like, her brain seems to heal. Even though she can't say the words. But it does say at the end of that chapter that Venli, your words are accepted. And so I actually don't know if it came from Jackson. Like, I'm a little bit confused to what happened.
What do you mean? Cultivation accepted her words. Her second ideal.
Her second ideal? What was her second?
When she was trying to say her second ideal, and Cultivation was like, no, because she didn't free lift.
Yeah.
But now she has freed lift, and she has made amends with the people that she hurt at the end of Words of Radiance. Cultivation accepts her second ideal now.
But she doesn't say it.
You don't need to say the words. You just need to mean the words.
I was so confused because I was like, because literally the moment is like Jackson becomes a Knight's Radiant and bonds a Spren to heal.
Yeah.
And then it was like, Venli, your words are accepted. And I was like, Venli made an oath for her mother?
No, it was Cultivation accepting the oath that she tried to make earlier that wasn't accepted because she has now done enough to make amends to the people that she hurt.
All right, sure. That makes more sense because I was very confused.
At least that's what I got out of it.
Okay. Yep, I completely fucked that up.
Mispronounced name says, did they domesticate chasm fiends, or do the chasm fiends have a nice listener breeding population to begin farming operations with?
It could be. They're probably very smart.
Chapter 116, Mercy. Kaladin goes to talk to Dalinar and is like, hey, bud, I fought. Wasn't good for me.
Dalinar's like, I'm so sorry I tried to take you out of the fight. And he's like, actually, no, you were right. We're going to do more of that, and I'm going to start group therapy.
Yeah. And so Dalinar is like, well, what if, hey, do I have a patient for you? Zet's son Villano has to go to Shin. Do you want to go with him and maybe
try and help this Herald guy?
Yeah.
He's kind of lost his mind over who even knows how many years at this point. And Syl and Kaladin look at each other and they're like, bruh, like, we can barely help someone who is battle shocked from, like, one war.
Yeah.
How the fuck are we supposed to help someone who's been fighting for, like, 1,000 or fucking 10,000 years, whatever it's been?
And Dalinor's like, no, he's magically insane, so...
So it's fine. It's fine. Just say an oath near him and he'll have a moment of clarity.
And so, yeah, so Dalinor is also like, hey, I found your flute, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And Kaladin's like, the fuck? We talked about this last week. Let's just finish this. I still don't like that all of the items are in the same merchant store. I think that's too convenient, but whatever. I really hope this flute fucking matters at some point, because these books are making it so much about this fucking flute.
Well, but the book is now so much about music, so yeah.
I know. I just need the flute to start mattering more for how much we're talking about it.
That's fair.
We've lost it twice, and he still has not played it. Flute, like, Kaladin has never put lips to flute.
Giggity. Lezian is back on
The
Roshar.
Pursuer.
Yeah, the Pursuer is back on Roshar, and he is being held by a different singer called El.
Who is basically Pinhead from fucking Hellraiser.
Sure.
Every time he reincarnates, he shears off his horns and replaces them with metal.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's
Like,
fucking crazy.
He's... Okay, El is so cool.
Yeah, El is like, hey, defeated one. I'm going to kill you to prove that this works. And he does that and kills him.
Yeah, El is so... I want to know everything about El. His epigraphs are kind of lame. But fuck.
As a character,
the
I'm
description
into
of
it.
him removing his own carapace to replace it with... Not horns. I said horns. His carapace to replace it with metal.
Yeah.
And then fusing that to his skin with void light is so sick.
Yeah. Dalinar...
Officially, Sam is like, have we seen people putting metal in their bodies before? Huh. Wow, you're so clever.
He's actually going to
No,
be
I'm so kidding.
fused that has
Hemalurgy?
hemalurgy, allomancy powers.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like that, but not hemalurgy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, because metal also matters here.
Sometimes y'all like to not spoil, but like, hint, officially Sam,
We're
see
onto
you,
you.
hinting at shit. Mm-hmm. Trying to lead us.
Dalinar and Navani have a nice moment, and then they're like, oh, this is gonna be really confusing because we're both now the bondsmith. So we gotta be like this bondsmith specifically. By the way, Navani, I'm gonna be my own champion, and we have 10 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Dalinar's like, you should show people mercy, Stormfather, and he's like, I did once.
Yeah, I've done
I
that
showed
before.
mercy once.
Yeah, and then we get the best chapter of the series, maybe, debatably.
In like the worst place, but the best chapter.
I mean, I don't know. Is it the worst place if it's the last thing you read and you leave
Eshonai
off
died
and, like,
2 books ago.
I know.
She died like this is such like.
But it matters because we've gotten to see like her. I think it could have been like last book. I don't think it would have made as much sense 2 books ago. But I do think that having
I would have been fine with it at the end of Words of Radiance.
Yeah, but I think having the context of her over multiple books about all that she wanted to do was just see Roshar.
Oh, for sure, and the chapter is awesome.
Yeah.
It just is. It's like, oh, she was a Radiant, and she died.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. She's been dead for over a year in book time. Like, it's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, it's like nice information to know about someone that like their last moments were cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just find the placement of it so odd.
Yeah.
And
I
I think it rocks, but
I agree
it's
with
odd.
the official ACM that it hits harder after her flashbacks, but her flashbacks were last book, so definitely could have used it.
Her flashbacks?
Yeah, the Eshonai flashbacks were Oathbringer, right?
No. The Dalinar flashbacks were Oathbringer.
But
Eshonai's not had flashbacks. Eshonai's flashbacks are in this book.
no, those are Venli's flashbacks.
And Eshonai. They're the 2 POV characters with flashbacks. Eshonai's never had a flashback book.
Eshonai does get flashbacks, yeah,
Nope.
of when she like fully takes on storm form and she like fights it, like she like feels.
That's
the
not
Spren
flashbacks.
take
That's
over.
in the moment. Though that's just the POV chapters of Eshonai in Words of Radiance.
Oh my god, is it?
Yeah, those aren't flashbacks. Those are just the chapters in Words of Radiance that are her POV. We don't get any Eshonai flashbacks until this book.
But they're not Eshonai,
well, no.
they're Venli's.
No, but they're both POV characters in those flashbacks. They bounces between them in this book.
I think the only one that Eshonai has is when she goes to like defend the gates from the other.
No, there's
listeners.
a bunch of them. There's the one where she finds the Chasm Fiend in the storm. There's a bunch of Eshonai flashbacks in this book that we just read.
Anyway, Linus, thank you for that super chat. Shout out to my favorite chapter. Plus, fuck Moash. Yeah, Moash is the absolute worst. Hate that guy.
Yeah.
Those were interludes. Oh, okay. I was like, I'm so confused.
Yeah, but they were present day.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we watch Eshonai die and drown, and it's very dark. It's very sad. And she goes up into the space between life and death that we have seen Kelsier and Wax go to. And
she was highly invested when she died.
We were reacting to this, and I was like, fuck all the way off.
You're like, if
we
Eshonai is
cannot
alive...
keep doing this. We can't keep doing this. But no, she is actually dead. So by the end of the chapter, I loved it.
Yeah.
Because legitimately, if she had become a like shade or whatever they're fucking called, like Kelsier, I would have lost my mind. I would have been like, guys, you can't just keep. Death has to mean something in this series.
Yeah.
It cannot be that everyone who dies gets resurrected like this.
Yeah.
And so by the end of the chapter, I was very, very on board.
Oh,
but I had a brief moment of I was mad.
Yeah. No, we did react to this chapter. It did make me cry. I thought it was...
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was so well done. It was so beautiful. It meant so much.
Oh, it's incredible.
And also, like, for, like, the Stormfather as well. Like, having that moment of the Stormfather immediately right before coming to Dalinar and being like, yeah, so... I think you were right, and, like, I have shown mercy before.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, what those moments meant for Kaladin and Eshonai, respectively, and what they were able to do in those moments. And for Eshonai's, like, her literal final moment.
Well, we should say what it is. So Eshonai is, like, she always wanted to see beyond the boundary of what her people knew, and so... the Stormfather lets her ride the storm, and she gets to see the entire planet.
Yeah.
And so she kind of just, she gets her greatest dream in this moment before the afterlife, before she fades away.
Yeah.
And it is so beautifully done.
Yeah.
Like, it's so beautifully done. And it's really impeccably written. The visual of it, the way in which Brandon Sanderson is able to really pull her emotional life to the fore and allow us to live in it for this chapter is some of his best writing in this chapter at the end of this book that, you know, it thematically, it doesn't feel connected to in a weird way, but it is just this like perfect snippet just placed here. And I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah. No, definitely one of the best chapters ever.
And then the Stormfather says goodbye and she dies.
Yeah. And then we have the epilogue with Hoid.
Shit gets real cool, chat.
Yeah, Hoid goes to, like, bait Odium into talking with him. And he does. It works.
We almost get an annoying story about how good being a writer is again. And that gets interrupted. And then we almost get an annoying story about how good being a writer is again. And then that gets interrupted. Yeah.
So basically, Wit and Odium meet, and Odium's like, right, I can't hurt you, but I think it doesn't count. I think I can circumvent this. I don't know why
he can't hurt him. Odium is like, I can't hurt you, but...
Because he's made an oath, and oaths
But Wit has broken his side of the compact.
What do you mean?
By interfering in the thing, by writing the thing with Dalinar, right?
He's not interfering. He's advising.
How is okay, then what is the line?
I mean, I think it's in the same way that the oath with Odium is that I can't hurt you, but I can do something that does hurt you, even if it's not considered, like, hurting.
No, I just mean that Wit says in the scene with Kaladin, like, if I interfere and he finds out, he can kill me. And now he's clearly interfering.
I think he means, like, magically. Writing a fucking contract doesn't really seem like interfering. But yeah, Odium basically is like, redo, I'm gonna take your memories. And so, because Wit walks away from his conversation with Odium suspicious.
Well, we should specifically say, so Wit figures out that Odium has changed. And Taravangian does not want Wit to know that and bring it back to everyone else. He doesn't want everyone to know that he's different now. And so Odium sneaks into Wit's breath, which is where Wit is hiding his memories.
Yeah.
And he takes away Wit's memories.
Yeah. By destroying some of his breaths.
Yeah, which is so fascinating because, obviously all investiture is kind of the same thing and it's all kind of different. You know what I mean? Like,
it manifests differently, but
the
it all comes
idea
from the same place.
That you could use breaths as a metal mind is fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, could you accidentally get punched in the stomach and lose your memories?
I mean, I guess.
But so yeah, it's so cool. And then so he steals his memories, and then Wit is dropped back in the hallway and restarts this whole conversation and the entirety of the telling the story and looking back at the two spren that aren't there anymore, and his spren isn't there anymore. His spren is conveniently missing while this happens, and Taravangian gets a second crack at it and plays dumber because he's realized that Odium left some options on the table because he wasn't smart enough.
Yeah.
And Taravangian is a little bit smarter and is able to see the holes in Odium's plan, and they redo the whole interaction, but this time with Wit not realizing that it's Taravangian.
Yeah.
And it is so interesting.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. This book would be so confusing if you've never read Warbreaker.
Well, and that's my concern with Wit globally, right? And
I mean, Wit, Nightblood, obviously Vasher and Vivenna are part of that as well.
Yeah.
There are so many references. If you were reading this book and you went to Reddit to be like, what the hell is going on? What are people talking about?
They would just say to read here's the one place where I might be being a bit dramatic about this, is that if you're willing to read these 1,200 page tomes, Warbreaker will take you an afternoon in comparison.
Fair. That is
You know
fair.
what I mean? It's not like Warbreaker is a 10 book series that is that are these 1,000 page books. It's 600 pages, I think. Warbreaker is not the lift that Stormlight is. So the idea that people are if you really want to know about this, you have to go read Warbreaker. It's not as big a deal.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I just mean if you didn't know where to get the answers to this, there's no guide. I don't think you would have to ask people.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm reading, the Stormlight Archive right now, and they're talking about all these things that I don't have context for. Someone kind of has to tell you that that's Warbreaker. Because if you go read if you go read Elantris, it answers the Aeon Sion thing, and that's it doesn't even answer that. It's just a minuscule reference.
Yeah. Skepcat says, first time theory, did the breaths actually get destroyed or moved or stolen or something? They got destroyed.
It says destroyed.
It specifically says destroyed in the books.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, unless there's a way to get them back or something. I don't know.
think
But
so.
It seemed pretty clear that they were destroyed.
Yeah.
I don't know how Odium would have just taken them. You know what I mean? It felt it seems like something that he has to destroy, or I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sure. And Kayla, I'm sure that there are guides.
But you have to know to look up a guide.
Well, yeah. So one of my things, and I know this isn't the same. One of my things with video games is that if you need a guide to complete it, I don't think it's a good game.
Okay.
I think it is a game that is made to sell other books.
If you need a guide, it doesn't mean other people need a guide to beat Ocarina of Time. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I beat it before the internet, so yeah.
Yeah, but you had people to talk about who found out other things.
I had people to talk about?
To talk to, and you shared that information. I just think that there are certain things out there that having to have a guide for something is fine. I'm not saying it's bad. It is just a personal pet peeve of mine. I don't like when it becomes necessary. And I do think that obviously you can still enjoy these books without having a guide on how to read the Cosmere and all that jazz. Again, but it is just one of those things that I know rubs me the wrong way, and it feels like buying a video game, starting to play it and being like, I guess I have to buy a book to help me walk through this game because none of it is explained in game.
Yeah. Tithanus, thank you for that super
Thank
chat.
you.
Here's how I explain Investor in the magic systems in the Cosmere. Each magic system is its own genre of music, but they all use the same notes. I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, okay. I dig that.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it, especially because of how much music is a part of Rhythm of War.
Yeah, exactly.
Time to talk questions.
Yes, let's do it.
So let's get into this is questions from the Discord. So we're going to go through these, hopefully get to them all. Iceblade44 starts us off with 1. Rhythm of War's flashbacks to me is a victim of outline. Brandon has told us all the flashback characters for all 10 books. Did he? That's wild. But he hasn't written. We'll get into that in a second. Book 4 was always Eshonai's book from when we first meet in Way of Kings. However, due to Brandon killing her off, these flashbacks lost a lot of narrative weight. Even when trying to tie them to Venli, do you think it would have made the book better to just cut them and go away from the outline? I think that he already went away from the outline, and so this is the problem with outlines, is that you either follow it or you don't. But once you change something like, that character isn't alive anymore, then you have to rewrite the outline. You have to actually go back and re-outline everything. You can't just be like, well, and this is what I was saying about the flashbacks in an earlier book club, is I was like, just don't do flashbacks every book.
Yeah.
If there's not a reason for them to be in the book, just don't do it. Like they don't have to be there.
Most of the Venli Eshonai flashback stuff could have been 2 or 3 interludes. Just like you could have condensed that down in a way that
but the interludes aren't flashbacks.
I know, but they could be because they're just interludes, and what does that even mean? Like, if you're already changing your outline so much that you have to completely rethink how you're going to do the flashbacks, I don't think it makes much of a difference to cut them completely, honestly.
My thing with the Stormlight Archive in particular is that, like, you have this weird... Brandon Sanderson wrote a book series where he was like, I'm going to do every writing convention in each book. I'm going to have epigraphs and interludes and flashbacks and prologues. And those are all going to be these very specific things. Mm-hmm. And then once you got through a few books, they don't work as well. The epigraphs in this book are very inconsistent in their relevance to... In this book in particular, there's ones that are just like random musing L has. And it's like, okay, yeah, this is fine. The interludes in this book are just chapters. Like the Cheery one feels like a interlude.
Yeah.
But like Lift getting kidnapped by Maraise, just that was a relevant chapter to the main plot. Like it's what he is using the interludes for it by this book is just not how he was using them in book 1. So to say that like they're there because the structure of a Stormlight book has to be a certain way doesn't really work for me.
Yeah,
because he's not using them the same way.
I think it's already loose enough.
Yeah,
that he absolutely could have cut things, and I think it would have been fine.
But like the Teravangian stuff being interludes and then at the end of the book being the chapters is very odd to me.
Yeah,
it's odd to make interlude characters POV characters all of a sudden later in the book. That the way in which he handled that to me in this book was, I have to have interludes, but I don't want to leave Urithiru, so the interludes are just going to be Urithiru. And I'm like, well then, they're not really interludes. Yeah. They're not like interludes are, and now for something different. And this book is like, the interludes are just, the plot continues, but I wanted it to feel like there's act breaks, even though this book doesn't really have act breaks, right? Urithiru is broken up, the invasion is broken up into 3 parts. But those 3 parts are all kind of do the same thing. Like the entire middle of this book could have been Act 2. And then you could have had Act 3 and Act 1 at the beginning and end. Mm. And it would have had more... The book structure would have aligned more with the actual narrative structure of this book, which is a 3-act story. Mm-hmm. Whereas the previous books are all 5-act stories. He intentionally wrote 5 different parts. But like Adolin's finale of this book happens in part 4. It doesn't happen in part 5.
True.
And the midpoint... Urithiru gets attacked at the end of part 1, which is in part 2. The end is the end of act 1, but it's in part 2. Like, this book is trying so hard to have the, like, literary structure of the first 3 books.
Yeah.
But it functionally and narratively has a different structure than those books. And so I think he should have just structured it differently. And I think some of the pacing problems of this book are him trying to force it into what a Stormlight book looks like, even though he's not doing what the first 3 Stormlight books did.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I've talked about at least the flashbacks enough. Yeah. Question number 2 from Iceblade is throw out your more wildest theories for how Wind and Truth will play out. More outlandish, the better. I think I threw out mine. It's like Contest of Champions happens at the beginning of the book. Dalinar loses, and Dalinar has to lead the fucking undead armies across the Cosmere.
I think Shallan fucks off. I think Shallan leaves the planet for a bit. I think Shallan's gonna go. She
takes Kalek to Scadrial.
Something like
and
that.
And then Kalek is like, "Oh, but Trail is here, so I'm gonna die anyways. Like I'm gonna get tortured."
I don't think she's gone the whole book. Like I do think though that because Shallan,
you think there will be a planet hop.
Shallan keeps leaving Roshar or like the physical realm in Roshar, and so I think that Shallan world hops for a day or two. To like try and get allies for the fight with Odium or something.
Yeah. She
wants to go. She's interested in it. Like she keeps leaving to Shadesmar. I think she goes one step further, and I think Shallan world hops for a bit. I do think that Szeth and Kaladin spend most of the book traveling together in Shin, which I really hope is interesting. Like I am really hoping that Sad Boy and Szeth can.
Two sad boys, let's be honest.
I'm really hoping those 2 sad boys can be interesting on page together for multiple chapters.
Maybe
I have some worries about it.
So maybe because Kaladin wants to focus on like therapy, maybe Kaladin like literally helps Szeth through this. Because Kaladin's kind of grown and come to terms with a lot of stuff and put down the shame. And so maybe their traveling together is what helps Szeth get rid of those screams in his head. Like
sure, and I would be I'm inclined to think that that's what it is. I just hope that given the amount of time that we spend with Kaladin just kind of like sitting around moping in this book, and moping for good reason. His depression is valid. I'm not trying to like say it isn't, but I just hope that I enjoy the time of them talking about therapy more than I did that element of this novel.
For sure. Relic Hunter asks, who is Thydakar? A new character or someone you've met?
I think it's someone we've met. I'd be surprised if it's someone new.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about our theories for this like just 10 minutes ago. But I think Kelsier is such an interesting idea.
Yeah, I still think it's Marsh, but I don't know.
Code 76 asks, who will be Todium's champion?
Oh,
L? I don't know. We don't know much about him.
Yeah, I mean, it's more fun if he corrupts someone to be the champion, right? I think that, like, Vyre is the most likely option. Moash.
Oh, yeah.
Because he survives this book.
Yeah, and also it does give emotional fucking trauma to Dalinar because Moash killed Elhokar.
Yeah. I think that, like, as much as I like the idea of it being a listener, there isn't really a fused that I think would be that, like, emotionally impactful for our characters to have to fight, weirdly. So I think that Moash is just, it's being built for him to be that person.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
Pilk's book rehab for Arzu asks, what is Lift's chicken? Lift has the green one, right? Maybe it's a budgie.
It's not Lift's chicken. She's trying to find the chicken, right?
She's trying to find the red one. The red one is the one that
Mraize's is green.
Oh, I thought Mraize's was red.
Then the one Lift's after is green? I can't remember. It's all Christmas to me. I'm
going to say it's like a budgie and a cardinal.
I think they're bigger than that. I think that's like eagle sized.
Okay. So one of them could be a parrot, I guess.
I have a feeling
We've
they're
seen
not
one
real.
of them. We've seen one of them is a parrot. I remember them like saying that it
It's
makes
described
like
as
noises.
looking like a parrot.
No, but it also like talks.
I still feel like these aren't actual animals. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Mispronounced name says Venli versus Dalinar. If Venli ends up, if all of the work of getting Venli to the end of this book is undone and she is the champion of Odium in the end of the next book, I might be done with Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, I think I would riot.
If you spend the entirety of Rhythm of War having her go through all of this, and then a book later she is just completely reverted on everything, I think I would actually be done with him as a writer.
Yeah.
And that's to say, I can almost guarantee it is not Venli.
Yeah.
Because that would suck.
Yeah.
Why did Rhythm of War exist? Like, why did we do any of this if Venli just reverts on everything a book later?
Yeah. No, I would hate that.
The book club would stop covering the Cosmere.
Manukos asks, with the way that the Cosmere keeps expanding and it seems like it becomes more and more about the Cosmere, what are some hopes you have for it? What version of it do you think you would still find interesting and exciting? I mean, here's the thing. I do find it interesting and exciting. I think that, like...
Let's get to this in 1 second. Someone just said, nerdy, important question. So this is why I want to... Have you seen the illustration for colorful chickens on Roshar? Oh, no.
No.
Sorry. It wasn't that important a question. But, no, I haven't. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I saw important question, and I wanted to make sure we didn't...
You're good. Yeah.
But Mispronounced Name says she could agree to be the champion in exchange for her people's freedom. Why would Odium risk it on Venli, a person who has never been a good fighter?
Yeah, Venli
that doesn't really make any sense.
Fight.
Yeah.
Venli would get
Venli's never
ass
been in a fight.
Kicked.
And Dalinar is the Blackthorn.
Yeah. It has to be a warrior.
No, Joseph, don't say sorry. You're so fine. The question is totally a fine one. I have tried to avoid the art and mostly read the rules. I've been trying not to get spoiled, so I haven't really paid attention to much of the art. You do not need to apologize.
Yeah.
Clarus, one of the things about chat is that you guys, we get you on a delay, and so that's what kind of creates those confusions sometimes. It is in no way your fault.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay, so the Cosmere is exciting. I want the books to be about that and it not be a thing that distracts from the books that I'm enjoying.
Yeah, and I think that part of the problem is that, like, you have so much stuff that you have to resolve on Roshar before you can kind of get into the Cosmere of it all.
If you give me a book about a world hopper, I will get into it. It's the fact that the world hoppers are these fucking mystery boxes that operate with these rules that I don't understand that aren't interacting with the main plot. So I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't give a shit about who Thydakar is that much, to be honest.
Well, and the tough part about it is that there is interesting stuff on Roshar that I want to talk about and get resolved.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the more that you set up interesting plots that your readers care about and then try to distract from those plots by adding other Cosmere stuff on top of that and never resolving those original things, like, that's where it gets frustrating.
Yeah.
I want Roshar to kind of not resolve itself fully, but, like, I want to have some kinds of resolutions, some kinds of answers before we really push into the Cosmere world hopping of it all. Because I don't mind if that's the direction that we're heading. I just want some answers and stuff before we get there.
Look, here's the thing. I would love Wit if he was a character who's like, I desperately want to do these things. I am where I want to be. Instead, he is kind of a frivolous man who's where he needs to be. And because of that, I just don't care. Like, I really know that people like him. I'm not saying that you can't like him. I'm saying I don't care. I'm not saying that he's bad. I want to be really clear so that people aren't trying to be like, well, I don't like him as a character in most of these books. Rhythm of War more so, because he cares about something, because he's engaged. In a lot of the narrative, I don't care about him because he just shows up to interact with the plot in a way that feels so meta to the game. It feels like Brandon Sanderson showed up to a D&D game and he's like, well, I'm playing my level 15 paladin. And I'm like, well, everyone else is level 3, my guy. And that's the vibe that I get off of it. It isn't cool to me that Hoid has the coin that Wax needs for the plot to move forward.
But it's exactly like Honor Among Thieves when the paladin shows up and then walks out before the resolution to the plot.
Honor Among Thieves is a comedy, and that was very funny because it was making fun of a thing that I don't like.
Sure.
That whole scene is mocking people at the table that I think deserve to be mocked.
I understand.
Wit isn't mocking that, right? Wit is earnestly doing the thing that I think is kind of bad taste in a D&D game. Not bad taste in a book.
I don't know if Wit is ever earnest. I don't think I could ever call him that. I understand what you're saying.
But he is earnestly interacting with the plot in ways that feel deeply unearned to me.
Mm-hmm.
Him giving Wax the coin in Bands of Mourning is the worst example, which is why it's the one that I always bring up.
Yeah.
Because it is just so... It is such a fucking cop-out of a narrative moment to just be like, and then my super special character from the Cosmere shows up and gives him the plot device that allows the book to move forward so that Wax doesn't have to do any work. Like, that to me was the worst moment.
Yeah.
And the more I think about it, Bands of Mourning is my least favorite Cosmere book because of it. Like, that single scene with Wit makes that book unforgivable to me. And the struggle that I have with Wit is that he is just present in order to be present so that Brandon can either move the plot forward or so they can be like, see guys, Wit was there for this too. And then Wit was, and I'm like, cool, what does Wit care about?
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit about Easter eggs. Easter eggs are fun if I care about what's going on. But if the Easter egg is just there to be an Easter egg, fuck off with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's the shit about Marvel that I don't like. I don't care about the post-credit scenes if they don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, putting Hercules at the end of Thor was really cool until the Hercules never showed up again.
Yeah.
Hulk as a kid never showed up again, right? Like, those things are like, oh, like Thanos was a great Easter egg because we got Thanos. We built to it. It mattered.
Yeah.
And so all of this retroactive Hoid shit, it might matter one day, but the books have never done anything with it that makes it matter to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. And that's just how I feel. I'm not trying to tell you how you should feel about it. It is, it is what it is. I just, yeah.
Zez asks, with Odium's power now in Intervention's hands, do you believe the limitless power of hatred is strong enough to create a seemingly harmless explosive that releases bright lights, yet can also blow a hole in a sturdy stone structure?
Guys?
That question got 2 check marks. I love that.
Fireworks would not break a stone wall.
What if they are the power of hatred? I think fireworks are the power of hatred, honestly. The hatred of veterans, at least.
What?
It's like triggering
for
PTSD.
I was like, I mean, when they set them off at Memorial Day, it's in honor of veterans. But
yeah, and it freaks the shit out of people.
I mean, it's more in like the pursuit of ruining dogs' lives.
Yeah. A lot of dogs do not like fireworks.
Can I be honest? I'm just not a fireworks guy.
Yeah.
I've been burned by them many times.
And now we have drones that can do the same thing but cooler. So
yeah, I am far more inclined to enjoy a drone show than a fireworks show.
Yeah.
Far more inclined.
Yeah.
I think that fireworks, the first one is always really cool. And then it's like 12 minutes long. And I'm like, I really enjoyed one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things where like fireworks shows never get better. Like, it's not like they like get better over time. You're like, oh, cool, a firework. And that's also a firework.
Yeah.
And that's also, we're just going to show a bunch of the same thing over and over again. I don't know. I don't get it. I've never understood it. I've never been able to get into a fireworks show.
I think the nostalgia of it for me is like the Stampede show, right? Like with the show and the fireworks.
We never saw them. They were above us.
I know.
We wore wide-brimmed hats so they didn't burn our faces.
I know. But I think that like it being a part of the show gave me a nostalgia for fireworks because of the sounds and whatever it was. But like, yeah, for the fireworks themselves, I was like, that was cool for a second. And now I'm like, and we're just being wasteful, scaring people.
I would rather listen to the music. this is my other thing. If I'm going to see a show, right, and it has fireworks in it, I'm just not going to get to hear that song.
True, yeah.
Like, Canada, My
But do you
Home
remember-
is a great song. I've never heard it because all I hear is pop, 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 pop,
Yeah.
pop, 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 pop,
Yeah.
pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, why are there 165 of us on stage singing right now?
But also, do you remember when we lived in Brampton, and there was a fucking like health air quality advisory?
Oh, on what was that holiday? Diwali?
I think
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like the
yeah,
day
yeah.
after, and people just fucking popped off fireworks and left the garbage everywhere. It smelled so bad the next day.
Oh, look.
There was a full, like, you have asthma. There was a full like warning from Health Canada, whatever it is, the Weather Network. It was like, yeah, the air outside is gonna suck to breathe. And
I'm
I
gonna
was
be
like,
honest.
why do we do fireworks?
I do not think that I think that fireworks should be illegal without a license.
Yeah.
And like I think that you should have to like submit plans to shoot off fireworks.
Yeah, if you've got a show like Disney, like whatever.
Whatever, fine. But like people who can shoot fireworks in their backyard is look, too many NFL players have lost fingers to this, and I need them to have their fingers to keep the defensive line off the quarterback. All right? Our friends, Corey Tung, I'm calling you out. Corey Tung, I watched him almost lose his life on a balcony one time trying to set off fireworks for the 4th of July. That bitch is Canadian. I know, and almost lost his life to fireworks setting them off on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
I don't like fireworks. I just don't like them. I like dogs, and I think that I would rather dogs be happy than us have fireworks. That's my hot take. I think dogs should have joy. I think dogs should be happy. And Arzu says I'm old for that opinion because Arzu Kashefapur hates dogs.
Wait, is that that's not even their full name on here.
Is it not anymore? Did Arzu take their last name off? Should I delete that?
No, that you said you added extra stuff onto the end of their last name.
Sorry, Arzu.
Wow, you got full named and then some.
That's my bad. I'll take it out of the podcast. What's the timestamp on this?
I don't.
We're not recording.
Babe. You're going to have to download this from YouTube.
I know, which means we're going to have low quality clips this week. Sorry.
Whoops.
What's the timestamp on this?
1:59.
All right.
Sure. Yeah. Love that for us.
It's fine. Okay.
Oh, you just use this. Okay.
Arzu doesn't like dogs.
I'm confused. So Professor McGuinea Pig asks, will Zez get some sort of special reward for a callback to a 2-year-old Wheel of Time rant?
Guys, it's not even a callback to. It's not like it's like this rare callback. You guys bring it up all the fucking time, and you're wrong. The crazy
about
thing
what?
is, for 2 years,
What
you
are
guys
they
have been
wrong
joking about fireworks being able to destroy a stone barricade that has ventilation for the explosion of the fireworks to go out either end. It's not blowing a man-sized fucking wall in an arrow slit. It's just not fucking happening. You're just wrong. I've been right for 2 goddamn years.
I want you to make an entire dedicated video to this.
Oh my god. No, you know what we're doing? We're in the backyard at the new house. I'm going to build a stone wall. I'm going to buy a shit ton of fireworks because it's legal for some fucking reason and it shouldn't be. We're going to do this experiment and I'm going to prove to you all how insane it is to think that Matt was going to be able to get a fucking man-sized wall and a narrow slit from some goddamn fireworks.
Yeah, but Aludra makes real good fireworks, you know what I mean? Like, not the fucking shit you buy off a truck in Canada.
Making good fireworks does not mean making stronger fireworks. Why would making them stronger make them good? You're just risking your own health and safety.
Johnny Coleman asks, fuck, marry, kill Renarin, Adolin, Kaladin in Shadesmar with their Spren watching. I think at that point, then I have to kill Kaladin because
his friend is a child.
I couldn't. I'm sorry. Syl cannot be there under any circumstances whatsoever.
Linus Vikstrom, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Actually, Madam Web proved Nerdy wrong. If you trust anything in Madam Web, you might not be smart enough to listen to this podcast. You should absolutely do CPR on a conscious person. I think the IQ of this podcast is higher than the IQ of Madam Web, and I will stand by that.
I don't know how you measure that, but yeah, we'll go with it.
Can I be honest? I love that movie.
Yeah, I know, because you love it because it's terrible.
It's so bad.
So here's the thing. Adolin doesn't have Spren. So if you're not into like the voyeurism thing, you would want to fuck Adolin.
How the fuck dare you? How fucking dare you? Maya did not save the war.
But that's not Adolin's Spren. They're not bonded. He doesn't have a claim over her.
Wow.
She's
Maya Erasure.
No, she is an independent woman, and she doesn't have to watch him fuck.
Maya Erasure. I will not stand for this. I am.
Well, Maya's eyes are scratched out, so she can listen, I guess.
I'm gonna fuck Renarin because I feel like he'd be a fun little bottom. I'm gonna marry Adolin because what a guy. And like
Fair.
Clearly I'm not starting any sort of sexual relationship with Kaladin. What a disaster he is as a human. I'm killing that motherfucker. I'm putting him out of his misery. Can you imagine fucking Kaladin and then getting like sad boy you up texts for months afterwards? Him being like,
poor Lynn, you know what I mean?
You know, I'm not having a good day, but I was thinking about that night that we had, and it was the last time I was happy. I would love to see you again.
Oh no.
Oh my god. If Kaladin gets a Sion, starts trying to call me, booty call. Phone. Oh god. Just terrible.
Yeah,
I think
for different reasons, we've got the same fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah, you're not going to marry Renarin. He can see the future. That would get weird over the course of a lifetime.
Complicated. I would be so self-conscious, you know, like
just fucking him one time with him being like, "Oh, you're about to come," and you're like, right, now you can see the future."
Yeah.
He kills it. He accidentally ruins your orgasm by like predicting it.
I think he would learn, you know, after that happened once or twice, he'd be like, I shouldn't do that, but who knows? Pinky Armando asks, what do you think the new real reason for the recreants was?
I'm still mad about this, but it's because if they use the surges, they're going to break Roshar, right?
Well, it has something. We already know that the surges are bad for Roshar.
Yeah.
Like, the magic somehow is, like, ruining the ozone layer or some shit like that. Like, it's global warming. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think that it's got to be something to do with that, because that's been seeded throughout the entire series.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I just don't know what. And, like, is the solution that, like, just nobody ever has magic powers for anything? Like,
no, I think the solution is that they stop bonding Spren. They defeat Odium and they remove the need for radiance.
Yeah, but then this certain Spren can't be sentient in the real world. Like, Syl, without being bonded,
maybe that's better for everybody.
So we think that sentient beings shouldn't have sentience.
No, maybe they should go home.
Home?
To Shadesmar, where they're from, where they're sane without needing help.
Oh, you just don't think there should be any crossover between Shadesmar and the...
I'm not saying there shouldn't be. I'm saying that, like, if these bonds are ripping reality apart, because it's like either bringing the cognitive realm and the physical realm too close to one another, like the more people, if it's one of those things where like the more bonded you are, the closer Shadesmar and the physical realm get, and they start to like kind of like rub against each other in a way that like destroys things.
They just start scissoring.
Like, the Spren might not get to live in the physical realm with sentience. That sucks, but if they live there too much, they all die, maybe. You know, so like I don't know.
Yeah.
I liked it being sort of about... Can I be honest about my biggest disappointment with Rhythm of War? The end of Oathbringer brought up this idea that particularly the Windrunners were struggling with the revelation that they were the invaders.
Why the Windrunners?
They were just the ones that were struggling with it the most.
What? How do you know that?
Because in Oathbringer, that's what they said. That it was that and mostly because those are the characters that we were following, but the revelation that they were the invaders was particularly hard on the Windrunners because it, you know, was their sense of honor, right?
Okay.
Are their actions honorable in this war? And I think that in the year time jump, skipping over the fallout of that and not really getting into it and then this book just not really acknowledging it at all, even though it was this like genre changing shift for the series.
Yeah.
Ultimately is my biggest disappointment with this book.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, you ended Oathbringer with something that I thought was so massive and so interesting and so huge, and the next book doesn't even begin to address. Like, just never. It just isn't a thing here. We've completely moved on from what I thought was the twist.
Yeah.
And it is like Rhythm of War. Even if I liked the book more than I did, it never would reach those heights because it completely lets this massive idea fall by the wayside, in a way that I genuinely am disappointed by. I liked Oathbringer so much.
Yeah.
I keep saying it's one of my favorite fantasy books, and for the follow up to it to just ignore the ideas brought up in it is disappointing to me.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Pinky Armando asked, do you think that time or any other factors that make this desolation different could have nullified or altered reasons that necessitated the radiant bond to be broken?
Yeah, I mean, obviously things can change, right? Like, technology could, you look at like the way in which we're trying to like speed up making nuclear reactors now because we have ways to make them that are better than when Chernobyl was made, right? Things change over time. And especially with Navani's understanding of light and sound and technology, like, I feel like there's so many ways in which they might be able to, humans now being able to interact with the pure tones of Rashar might give them a way to bond Spren that the listeners had that are less destructive. Like, if the problem with the Radiant Spren bond in ancient times had something to do with them not being able to interact with the rhythms, then a technology that allows them to interact with the rhythms might make the Spren human bond safe now, and so the Recreants wouldn't have to happen a second time because they've been able to stabilize that bond without it being destructive to Roshar as a whole.
The humans all get like gem heart implants.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, though, like, that's in a world where they can heal around them in the way that they can, that's not completely out of the question.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah. But then that means you're like predetermining and picking the people who could potentially become Radiant.
No, you would have to become a Radiant first. Because if you were to put a gem heart, they would die. They would have to get to the point where they would survive the procedure.
Yeah, but then the bond has already been made. So if it's the actual bonding process that is ripping apart the world, then that's specifically too late.
But if it's once a certain number of people, like, I would imagine that in the math of it, having 10,000 first level bonds is safer for Roshar than having one fourth level.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out eventually.
Third question here. You always get 3. How many letters did Adolin carry to the honor spread? Speaking of 2-year-old book club references, I'm going to say 7.
Oh, I thought it was like 1 from Dalinar and 1 from Yasna.
No, I think it's Dasna. Yasna, Dalinar.
Navani.
Maybe Navani. I'm going to assume the Thalen sent one. I'm going to assume the Azish sent one. Teravangian's team probably sent one. And who's the other? What's like another country that's involved in the alliance? I'm assuming each of the monarchs of the alliance sent one.
I don't know.
That's my assumption, but I don't know. Pandoria says, who are your favorite characters so far, and which characters do you hate?
Fuck Moash.
Fuck Moash. I don't hate Moash as a character, though. I actually love Moash as a character. I think he's fascinating.
Yeah. I just hate him.
I really love Adolin. He's my favorite. I wish the end of the book had more of him, honestly. It was very weird to me that they kind of only get the one chapter in part 5.
And I do love Navani.
And just that Adolin and Shallan's stuff doesn't interact with anyone else in the Sanderlanchi part of the book is very odd to me.
Yeah.
That they're so isolated.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, Navani's incredible.
Navani became, like, this book did some, because up until now, Navani's been fine. This book really, that prologue with Navani, holy shit, this book's good Navani stuff.
Nerdy hates wit.
I don't hate wit. I'm disappointed in his use. He's not, that's not fair. I'm not disappointed in it. I do not enjoy the way in which Brandon Sanderson uses wit in these narratives. I like him more in this book.
Yeah.
Even the dream stuff with Kaladin. Like, this book is the most I've liked wit throughout the series.
That's good.
Since before I knew he was,
Yeah, of course.
like in the first Mistborn book, he interacts, but not in the most relevant way. It's just an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Or like Elantris. Him having been there for Elantris is fine. He doesn't he's not cryptically doing random shit. He's just present. And that, he goes through the perpendicularity. But yeah, I don't love Hoid. Who do you not like?
I think everyone is written really well, so it's like my hate is fuck Moash, but that's because he's the bad guy.
I'm honestly not the biggest Mraize fan.
Oh, fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I kind of see what Brandon's doing with him. It doesn't add anything to the book for me.
Yeah.
If you cut all of the Mraize stuff, I wouldn't enjoy these books any less.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't hate him, but I'm kind of over it. I'm kind of over the I'm the mysterious person from another. I'm kind of over it.
Yeah.
It also just hasn't done enough for me. It hasn't gone far enough. It gave Venli the great moment where she got to save Lift, but we could have gotten there without Mraize. Mm-hmm. She could have just been captured, right?
Mispronounced Name asks, what's your prediction for who's going to die and pass into the beyond in Wind and Truth?
Moash.
Oh, you think he dies?
Yeah, I think Moash is released from life. How that happens, I don't know. It would be nice if it could be Kaladin and if it could be in sort of a
Mercy.
Yeah. I think Zeth will die.
I do think Zeth will die at some point. I don't know if it'll be next book, but I am certain that Zeth does not survive the series.
I think a couple of the heralds. I think Niall will die.
I hope all of them get to die, honestly.
No, I think some of them will be around for the rest of the series, especially if they can heal Ketek.
Oh, sorry, yeah, no, next book, yeah, no.
But in Wind and Truth, I think Niall. My guesses would be Niall, Moash, and Zeth. Mraize is probably going to be around for Ghostbloods, the Mistborn trilogy, the third Mistborn series.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised if Mraize doesn't survive to that, but
yeah, no, that's yeah. I think those are all solid options.
Kayla says you were upset that you won't get to see the showdown against Odium now that we have a new character, Todium. Do you not think the shards themselves have any agency? No, I do not. Because they very much have needs and desires, as we've seen many times. They don't have needs or desires. They have
it feels like they have
emotional,
instincts. Yeah, like they're the shard is almost like an animal in the way that it has an instinct to drive towards a specific thing.
Have you not considered a shard of God still contains a part of that God? No, I have not considered that, mostly because I think that Adonalsium also had some sort of a physical form that was killed, right?
Maybe.
I
don't know.
We have not seen the shards have needs and desires. We've seen them have
instincts,
yeah, and their instinct has been to get a new host.
Well, that is one of their instincts, but Ruin can't do anything except ruin, and preservation has to preserve, and everything is done up to a point of extremism that is negative.
But we've never seen them have those instincts when they're unhoused from a host. It is when the only instincts we've seen them have when they're independent of having a person connected to them is to get a new host, right?
No, because we see preservation's host die.
Yeah, and then preservation doesn't do anything until it's in a host again.
It doesn't have the ability to, but I don't know if that means that the drive goes away. I genuinely, I don't know.
But I'm saying we don't see it.
Yeah.
The only thing we see is, to say that they have needs, they don't have any needs. To be clear, they don't have needs. Even Teravangian doesn't have any needs now.
Yeah, I don't think you have to eat.
Yeah, he has desires, but he is functionally immortal. He could not interact and he would survive.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like the desires of the host can't have the potential to be influenced by the instincts of the shard.
Yes. Yeah.
Is what it seems like.
Yeah, and it does seem like it can corrupt them, but the shards themselves don't have goals.
Yeah, I don't know if the shard of Odium is I want to take over this planet in the Cosmere. I think it is more of a...
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
It is more of a far more generalized like the hate, how that manifests, I think, is directed by the host.
But to answer your question, do you think the shards themselves have any agency? I don't. I don't think that they have any agency in the way that most symbiotic organisms don't really have agency. Like, they have to be attached to somebody to do anything, and so because of that, they just don't. They're not self-fulfilling characters.
Yeah.
Which is why Todium is a different character than Odium. Like, they're functionally different. And Todium interacts with Hoid differently. Enough so that Hoid is able to be like, oh, you're a different person. And that's a problem for Todium.
Yeah.
If Todium and Odium are the same character, then the entire epilogue of this book doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the function of this epilogue doesn't. And the epilogue's very good, but it just doesn't really work if they're the same character. The book lays out that they're different, and that for Taravangian, it is important that people not know that they're different.
Yeah.
Which is how they're different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Early Ann asks, first time theory, do you think Syl might join in group therapy, or maybe create Spren group therapy? I think it's possible. Syl is not okay. Syl is unwell, right? And so I think that because Spren are created because of humanity, like they stem from humanity, I think that perhaps therapy would affect them in the same way.
I would be surprised if it happens in the next book, but I could see it happening in the series.
Yeah. Will Lift have PTSD or other trauma responses to this near death?
Yeah. I mean, I think that Lift also, like, Lift is in the middle of puberty. Like, she's just in such a growth part of life that I think that she will definitely interact with it. It will affect her in some way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like she, like, you know, lost the ability to, like, use parts of her body. Like, I think that would fuck up anybody on some level.
I'm curious if she moves different. Like, because she's always been so flighty, and I wonder if there's, like, I wonder if she's a little bit more secure and stable as a character because of this.
Maybe, yeah. Linus asks, given the previous comments read Nightblood solving the Odium threat, are you disappointed by how it happened? No, I think that was the way that I would prefer it to be used, because Nightblood didn't just kill Odium and solve all their problems.
Yeah.
Nightblood killed Ray's body as the host for Odium to allow the antagonist problem of the series to evolve in a way. The one thing we didn't want is for Nightblood to just to solve it.
To just be the MacGuffin that wins the day.
Yeah, exactly.
I am disappointed because I'm disappointed that Odium went out like that.
Yeah.
Without me getting that resolution.
Yeah.
But I'm not disappointed with the scene. I think the scene is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if Nightblood was going to interact with the plot in this big a way, I'm glad it was at the end of book 4 and not the end of book 5.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that Taravangian holds the power of the shard Odium, do you think it will change how the intent of it is manifested in the story versus when Ray's held it, especially with how little we know of Ray's as an individual? Yeah, I feel like not knowing Ray's very well at all makes this difficult to answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think that the intent is very similar.
It's just really weird because in this section we kind of see Taravangian fighting with the impulses coming from the Odium shard.
Yeah.
And then it kind of seems like he succumbs to them almost immediately.
Pretty quickly.
But I can't quite tell if it's him redirecting it.
Yeah.
Or if it's just him kind of accepting it.
I can't tell either. I think we'll find out more in Wind and Truth for sure.
I'm a little bit confused.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think that Ray's is, it's that interesting thing of, like, part of the reason why Taravangian and Ray's are so different in as characters is that Ray's is immortal and doesn't care about anyone who's currently alive, but Taravangian does. Like, Taravangian has people in Kharbranth he genuinely loves. He's a psychopath, but, like, he loves his people. And so the idea that they could interact with the plot in the same way just seems impossible to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of over it until we read more. Like, I don't want to just keep complaining about the fact that this happened, because it did. I feel the way I feel about it, but, like, it's not the worst choice ever, right? Like, and I feel like if we just keep talking about it, it's going to seem like I think it's like the worst, right? And it's not. I'm a little disappointed by it, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And it could be very cool in Win and Truth. I just kind of feel like I've said everything I need to say about Odium
Yeah.
for now.
Code 76 asks, were there any new characters introduced in this book that you know/suspect may be world hoppers? If so, from where? Who the fuck was introduced in this book?
Not a lot.
Is she?
Is she?
Yeah.
The
Herald?
Heralds can't leave.
Yeah, I'm just listing people who are new
Yeah.
characters. I guess Raboniel, but she specifically
No,
said
the
she can't.
Fused can't leave either. I mean, obviously, the fucking person who gave Venli the stone,
Oh, the original Spren
From-
in the flashbacks.
yeah, I don't remember that character's name.
It sounded like
Iqaluit comes to mind, but that's a city in Canada.
No. We said it sounded like the terrace. It sounded like a terrace name.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean,
It
obviously
was
some
like
of the people...
ashwagandha or something, and I'm like, I can't remember.
Yeah. We met some in Shadesmar, for sure.
Yeah.
But none of them were that important. Like, I don't remember any of their names. Who was introduced?
The mink. I don't think he's a world hopper.
No.
No.
Definitely not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of world hoppers involved. Code 76 also asks, are there any world hoppers from this or previous Stormlight Archive books that you think will be involved in Win and Truth plot going forward? I hope not many. Axe Windwith. Yeah, Axe Windwith.
Yeah, that sounded very terrace to me.
I hope not many. I want our characters to resolve this conflict. I don't really want it to be a bunch of fucking, like, random people show up.
Yeah.
This series hasn't earned an Avengers Endgame moment yet.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, because these characters don't know each other. They don't have this same goals and desires.
They haven't, like, Civil Warred.
Yeah. But Hoid for sure. And that's hopefully it. And obviously, I think Marays will interact. I think Thydakar will show up. So I guess not just Hoid. And if Thydakar's Kelsier and Kelsier shows up in Win and Truth, we probably should read Lost Metal first.
True. Yeah.
Which I think won the poll, right? 59-41. I thought it was going to be closer than that.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Lost
we're
Metal. We will start you on the
reading
29th.
Lost Metal. Pilks asked, do you have any thoughts on odes we haven't seen yet? Like Edge Dancer, Ideal 4, Windrunner 5.
Oh, God. I have no fucking clue. The oaths are things that, like, Windrunner 5 is very confusing to me because I really don't know what ideal is, what the, like, next ideal could be. I also don't know what, like, a fifth ideal, because the fourth ideal isn't really an ideal. You know what I mean? Like, even the fourth one is calling it an ideal is weird to me.
Yeah, I will accept
that I can't save everyone.
People I cannot save.
Like, that's not really an ideal. That's not something to live up to. That's more like personal work. It's not like an active, like, I will protect even those I hate is something that you can be, like, actively doing.
Yeah.
You can, because there's other options. Being like, I am mentally okay with the consequences of my actions is just not, like,
I will
an
go
ideal.
to therapy.
Yeah.
That's my actionable accountability.
I will do what is right no matter the cost. That doesn't feel very Windrunnery.
That feels way more fucking Skybreaker to me.
Yeah, because Windrunnery is like, I will do the protection real good.
Maybe it will have something to do with my ideal is that I will show others how they can protect themselves and others. Because I think, like, at level 5, like, you know, like,
But then
in
why
the
isn't
career...
Kaladin already there? It has to be something Kaladin isn't already doing.
Right. Like, he already teaches people.
And, like,
You're
no
right.
one has done more to, like, get people to protect others than Kaladin in this series.
Yeah, you're right.
That could be his second ideal. You know what I mean? Like, Kaladin was doing that before he swore any ideals. That's what's tough about it, right? Is, like, what does Kaladin have left? And the oaths aren't set, right? Like, the oaths aren't
It's going to be like,
exactly the same.
I will find ways to protect people without violence. If Liren wrote the
I
ads.
would fucking lose my shit.
Yeah.
I don't think that we find out in Wind and Truth, too.
No.
Because the Cosmere TTRPG is like, no one said their 5th ideal yet, so
Yeah.
we can't tell you what it is.
Yeah, I guess that is like a slight spoiler, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Light Blind Fool, thank you for that super
Hey,
chat.
thank you so much.
Question for Nerdy. Would the world of One Piece fit in as a Cosmere world? And if so, what would the shards that run it be named?
The hate fruit.
It would. If One Piece was in the Cosmere, it would dominate every other planet. Like, the One Piece would destroy they would rule the Cosmere in days. No, like, the Radiants would be so fucked. And I'm not even talking about devil fruit eaters, right?
What do you mean the Radiants would be fucked?
They would lose that war immediately.
You just said they would win if
No.
they were on Roshar. Wait, you
the,
mean
the characters of One Piece would obliterate the Cosmere. They would win every fight. Like, I'm talking about just regular ass people would destroy. Sanji can kick through solid rock with his bare foot. I'm so sorry, but there is simply no. It would be bad for the Cosmere for One Piece to be in the Cosmere. Hockey would become the national sport of every country and every planet.
why hockey?
There's a lot of hockey in One Piece. You haven't seen any of the hockey
was
episodes.
Magic.
That's the joke.
Oh.
Yeah, no, One Piece would it would work, but like fuck, man, they would be fucked. Luffy would be out here open perpendicularities with sheer force of will.
Yeah, I guess in anime, if you believe something strong enough, it will just happen for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and hockey is kind of just force of will. Kind of. I don't really understand it yet, so no spoilers, please. But yeah.
Sure. Thank you for the super chat.
But yeah, what would the shards that run it be named? Chaos and Big Booba.
Mommy Milker.
Mommy Milker. Only a woman can become the vessel of Mommy Milker, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, you know, femme identifying person.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of trans representation in One Piece.
I love that.
Yeah, let's go Emporio Ivankov, king of the queers. Sometimes queen of the queers. They change gender.
So does the king in Stormlight.
That's true.
Linus Vikström, do you think having Eshonai's death be a fake out and then see her becoming radiant would have been better than her dying and her progress being handed to Venli in the story? Since I'm torn between the Stormfather's Mercy being one of my favorite chapters ever versus Venli feeling a bit shoehorned into taking over the listener get back radiant Spren branch.
I don't know that would have been better given the other fake outs in that moment. Like, I was already mad that it was a fake out death with how he wrote it.
Yeah, no, I really actually don't think another fake out would have helped the story at all. Yeah.
Can I throw this in there?
Yeah.
I don't really get what he's doing with Venli at all right now. So I like her enough, and there's some interesting stuff in the book. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing is that Venli is not the reason that the Spren come back to the listeners and is not the reason they forgive them. It is still Eshonai. Eshonai was a Radiant before she died. Like, Eshonai was the first. And so, I don't... Yeah, I think it's weird. I think it's more complicated this way in a way that is interesting. Like, I do enjoy that. And again, I don't enjoy the flashbacks, but I do enjoy that Venli is a character who has grown exponentially and learned so many things. But I think it was the right choice. I think if Eshonai had lived, it would have pissed me off.
I do feel like it's a bit shoehorned, though. I feel like he is...
I understand exactly what you're saying.
I feel like Brandon is trying to make this work. I think he changed his plan, and he's trying to make his new plan work, and I can feel it grinding against the plan. A little bit.
A little bit. Again, we still really like Venli and a lot of her story stuff, but I do understand the feeling that you have.
Catharax asks, in Mistborn Era 1, Sanderson killed off a majority of the important characters in the trilogy. Do you think he will be as ruthless in the last book of Stormlight Arc 1, or do you think he has grown soft? I don't think he's grown soft. I just think that this series isn't... It's a lot harder to kill people in Stormlight. Just because so many of the important characters have superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
And this series is not as dark as given it's mentally very dark for these characters, but this series it's more like One Piece, right, where it isn't so much about who lives and who dies, but really about the like living and about the like, whereas Mistborn was so much about who lives and who dies and who treats who like what. And
Mistborn Era 1 ended that era, like that was like the end to the story. I think if we got to Stormlight
the entire
10,
planet is remade. Yeah.
Well, I think if we get to Stormlight 10 and a bunch of characters die, that makes sense. But kind of killing off a bunch of them halfway through the series is more difficult to do in this than it is in Mistborn, right? So I don't think it's that he's grown soft. I just think, killing a bunch of characters off in the middle of the story that you're trying to tell, there'd have to be a good reason for it.
Well, it depends on if they're important characters in the like Stormlight 6 might be about different people.
Yeah,
and
but
like
then
Dalinar
why
is
not
present, but like not
series?
a POV character.
Then why isn't it a different series?
Well,
Why is it
in the same way that like the Star Wars movies are about different people? But they're still like the Skywalker saga. Like Rey is the main character of 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, but they are
7,
still
8, 9.
3 trilogies.
Yeah, and this would be two pentologies. Pentology? That's the right word, right?
I have no idea.
It's close enough.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think he's gonna kill off that many people, if I'm being honest. I think there will be some important deaths, but I don't think it'll be that many people.
Yeah.
Like I think Adolin and Shallan are safe. I think Dalinar and Navani are safe.
I don't know if Dalinar is safe, honestly.
I do.
All right.
I don't even think he's going to fight in the Contest of Champions. Blue Sun says Navani discovered a way to produce anti-void light, but she had a clue beforehand that such a thing existed. She had already seen anti-void light sphere that ultimately came from Gavilar. How do you think Gavilar got his hands on anti-void light? Man, I don't fucking know. Like the constant like
He got it from the Heralds.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
The Heralds do not know about anti-void light.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
How would they not?
Because it's never existed before. You think the Heralds knew about it and they never used it in any of the Desolations?
I thought they knew about all the lights.
All of the lights, all of the lights. No, anti-void light is new.
But it's not new.
Yes, it is.
Because it existed before because Navani saw it. It is a paradox.
No. Okay, but in the world where this has been going on for 7,000 years, 6 years ago is new. But anti-void light never existed in the war before this, because no fuse has ever died before. Raboniel's daughter is the first fuse to permanently die.
Maybe it came from cultivation.
No,
playing
I don't think
8D
cultivation
chess.
would work with Gavilar.
I don't.
Maybe she would.
I have no idea.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm assuming Gavilar just had people doing science shit.
Yeah, but...
A lab in Wuhan, China.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, like part of me is like, well, it came from a different planet, maybe? But
No.
why would another planet have stormlight lights that go in spheres? Like...
No. There's some country where they're doing science, and they know stuff that nobody else knows, and they've been keeping it to themselves, and Gavilar managed to get it in with them or something like that. It has to come from here, because why would they have pure tones that they can mix anywhere else?
Yeah.
Someone else just figured it out before Navani, that's it.
I guess.
Arzu says, death is genuinely the least interesting thing that can happen in a story to me because it cuts off avenues of exploration. Worse than death can happen. I could not disagree with you harder about anything in the world.
Wait, what?
Death is so important to
It's
every
important
story.
for the characters that are around them.
Yeah. But you can't, Like this idea that we shouldn't kill off characters because there's more story to tell is a new idea that really popped up about like 15 years ago. I feel like I started seeing this in conversations, and I just think it is so damaging to the stories that we tell, because death is the foundational like boogeyman behind why humanity strives the way that it does. And I think that to tell stories that trivialize or minimize the impact death has on all people, when death is the one thing that we all face and interact with at some point in our life.
Yeah, but I think if you're reading a story that's about a main character and that main character dies, like, yeah, that's kind of pointless. Like if it's a story about a specific person.
Completely disagree. If a main character dies for a great reason, that's it. There are incredible stories about main characters dying.
Yeah, at the very end,
Kelsier,
when the story doesn't go anywhere.
Mistborn 1 wouldn't have been better if Kelsier lived. Kelsier's death is so necessary to that. No, but he's not in that trilogy. I mean, he kind of is. I know, and I don't like that as much. I preferred him dead. Like, characters dying isn't the end of... isn't uninteresting.
Yeah.
It's important. Boromir dying in The Lord of the Rings is so important.
Yeah,
There's
I think it
much
is
that happens because
so
of
important
that.
for the people that are around them, for sure.
But sure, but like Boromir, if Boromir lived, Lord of the Rings is not a better story. And I think that people like Cyberpunk Edge Runners, the main character dies. It is inevitable. You know from the beginning he's going to die. The fucking like opening text basically tells you that story is not uninteresting because he dies. It may be my favorite TV show, right?
Yeah.
His death is important. How we get there and why and the way it plays out is interesting. But like the fact that he dies isn't uninteresting. It's wildly interesting, and it's so good.
Yeah.
I couldn't recommend it more to everybody on the planet, right?
Yeah.
Fucking the game, Cyberpunk, the game basically tells you like your character is gonna die.
Yeah.
They cannot survive this. There's no winning this fight. And the game that plays out between finding out that you are a dead person walking and the end of the game is one of my favorite video game experiences of all time.
Yeah. I agree with Arzu's point here that the stories that use death as like a cheap like tearjerker, that I do find frustrating and pointless. Like if
for sure. Yeah,
if you have needless death that doesn't mean anything to the story or to the characters moving forward, that's just to try and make the audience a little bit sad. I think that I hate that as well. Yeah, that I find frustrating because it feels lazy to me.
But on the flip side of that, if you tell me a war story and nobody ever dies, I think you are being disingenuous to what war is.
Yep.
Like if you're telling me a story where people are shooting at each other constantly and nobody dies, I think that you are trivializing the reality of life. And you are telling a story that is a little bit fluffy because war is so deadly.
Yeah.
And for you to have characters go to war and everyone named lives, I'm like, that's just not, it's not real. That's not how life works.
Yeah. It's like the doctor said, just this once, everybody lives. And he said, just this once.
But that was important.
Yeah.
That one time.
Yeah.
Because he's watched so many people die.
Yeah.
He needed this once for it to not happen.
Yeah.
Because of all of the other deaths. Because of what it does to us. Death is like my grandmother dying when I was 12 changed me so radically. Forever. I will never be the person I was before seeing her die. And I think that Arzu and I mostly agree. I'm not trying to come hard at Arzu, but like there are people who do go online and are like, I just don't want anyone to die in stories. And I'm like, then you're trying to like you have not yet managed to outgrow your childhood. Like you need to grow up and realize death is a part of life. It is a scary part of life.
Yeah.
But it's something you have to interact with.
Yeah.
You don't get to not.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to choose to read books that don't interact with that, then like you can, like, if that's what you want in your stories. If maybe you've had it real rough, maybe there's been too much death in your life and you're like, I don't want to read books that are like that. But I don't think that, like, I think that should be maybe like its own genre, right? Like, it's books where people don't really die. Like, the death is not a present theme in the books. I think that those existing for people is not a bad thing, but I agree.
Not.
I think that bringing it into literature that is about war and about, like, heavier topics just doesn't make sense. It undercuts what those stories are then trying to say and trivializes them.
The best episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
don't spoil it, I'm gonna watch
is
it,
about a death.
Okay.
A lot of people die in Buffy, don't worry.
All right,
you'll watch a lot of characters die, but the best episode is just about the way in which a death can lock you in a moment and leave you unable to process anything. And the plot is the inability to move forward.
Yeah.
And it is one of the most interesting pieces of media to come out of the 24 episode season system that we used to have and that I miss dearly. Mm-hmm. Yes, I am mispronouncing. Don't read it. Death is it's such a huge part of life. It is ever present, and as you get older, it is more and more present. It just becomes more and more a part of your life, and it becomes more random and more cruel, and it consumes you at times. And the way that we process it is through media that helps us. Not just media, but stories. We tell stories about death so that when we lose people, we are not stuck. And we tell these stories so that we can move on, because telling these stories about loss and about pain and about that deep hurt that feels like you can never really carve it out of your chest is about knowing that other people have experienced it too, and that we have partners in grief, that there is a community in despair that shows you that you can survive it. We have to tell those stories. And I am scared for the people who can't even approach that feeling in a story. How are you going to approach it when your parents die? They are going to. You might die before them, but they are going to die too. Like, how are you going to survive that moment if you're not even willing to be in community with the people of this world who have survived that moment and can show you the way? That is the value of stories. That's why we do this, is to experience this together so that we can be better, so that we can be more whole, right? So that we can deal with our depression and our DRD and our autism and our ADHD and all of the things that plague us. We read these stories so that we can come together around them and say, hey, like, this is something that you can live with and thrive through. And death, you know, death is the ultimate one. But, you know, I remember reading The Fault in Our Stars. And I remember getting to the end of that book and thinking that my world was crashing down because of this, the final pages, the eulogy at the end of that novel. And I just remember days later being like, I am more okay with my grandmother dying because I read this and because I felt this and because this wasn't real, but my emotions are real and it made my emotions okay. And I get so frustrated by all of these stories that are so scared to just let people die, that feel the need to bring everybody back because, oh, what if they do something interesting in the future? Them dying is interesting. It just is. We all die. It's maybe the most common thing we all do, but it doesn't make it uninteresting.
It is the one thing we all have in common.
It's the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're all born, I guess, but we all die.
Yeah, we're all born in different ways.
Bogdan Dambog says, would you read a book from Death's perspective? I've read a comic book from Death's perspective by an author I don't want to talk about, but thank you for joining. I love... Yeah. I've written a story from Death's perspective, actually. I've also written a play from Death's perspective. I find Death very interesting. I am currently doing a TTRPG where my character is a cleric of the god of death. I clearly have a thing with death. I like death.
We're buddies.
Realizing it's more of a thing for me than maybe I would have thought, now that I'm saying that out loud.
Welcome back to the Nerds Radiant. And Arzu, thank you for that super duper chat. Appreciate that. I think my main point is that I'm annoyed that people insist that the last book in any series must contain main character deaths or the story is not interesting. Yeah, that's fair. People want the trope over the story an author actually wants to tell. Yeah, again, everything, if a series or a book is about war and at the very end everybody lives, I think that it can be disingenuous. But I also agree that I think that using death unnecessarily to fulfill some kind of quota or to get on book talk or shit like that, like if it has nothing to do with the story that you're trying to tell, then I think that it's frustrating and pointless.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that, right? Like, I'm not saying to use it frivolously.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that people always need to die. But I'm saying that, like, if you're gonna have a magic system of people throwing around killing spells and nobody dies, then I kind of side-eye you and go, well, the amount of death in your story has to be equivalent to the amount of violence that you show me.
Yeah.
Or else the violence wasn't real. Like, you cannot show me a story that takes place in the fucking trenches of World War I and everyone makes it out.
Yeah.
Because I go, that's not real.
Yeah.
And it does disservice to the people who did live it and who did overcome their grief and come back and make it meaningful.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
I don't want to see stories about violent war where everybody is okay. Because I just don't think that is real.
Yeah.
You're making it too light.
Yeah.
I also don't want to see romantic comedies where the main character dies at the end. You know what I mean? And, well, actually, that's not true. Even that could be great. I would be very into that. What's the fucking Emilia Clarke movie? Oh my God, I don't want to spoil it. The movie's fine, but the ending is fucking incredible. My friends and I we saw it in a movie theater, and we sat in the movie theater. The lights were up and they were cleaning, and the four of us we were doing Footloose. Me before you, me after you, me without you, something like that. Me without you, maybe. And we cried for 35 minutes. And, like, literally they cleaned the theater while we sat there weeping. We were the only 4 people in the theater the whole movie. And they didn't need to clean anything. They were just kind of, like, checking on us. And you before me, maybe? Yeah. Shattered us. Absolutely shattered us. Anyway. Yes, death can be used poorly, but I am a big fan of death.
Big fan. We have one last question from Dimitrios. How do you think Stormlight would affect pregnancy and childbirth? For example, could a Radiant mother heal her child in the womb with Stormlight? Could a Radiant even become pregnant in the first place?
Wow, what a... I just did 10 minutes on death, and now we're here.
And now we're on life, yeah.
Wild.
I think that if what?
Let's just not put that on top of the computer.
Sure. I think that if you are a Radiant that can heal other people, then yeah, you could heal a baby in the womb.
Yeah, you'd have to be an Else Caller or a...
Edge Dancer.
Edge Dancer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is a different person. Yeah. Unless it isn't, and life begins at birth, and then it is part of you.
Well, but then your child would also be bonded to your spren. So no.
Until it has consciousness, yes. Could a baby accidentally summon your Shardblade inside of you and C-section themselves?
Jesus Christ. Unless it said the third ideal.
No, but if the umbilical cord is still attached, is it not you at that point?
So if it's a fourth ideal, it's in Shardplate while it's in the womb?
I mean, technically Shardplate is everywhere all the time, so...
Yeah, no, I hate it. No, I think that if you have a separate brain, then you are a separate entity, and therefore would not be like, yeah, you would have to be an Else Caller or an Edge Dancer to heal a baby in the womb. I'm
gonna say no. I'm gonna say that your Stormlight. I'm gonna say that your Stormlight would go through Yeah, I'm gonna say all Radiants would have healthy kids. Your Stormlight would go through the umbilical cord, and it would keep them healthy until they're out of your body. And then you wouldn't be able to heal them anymore. But as long as your umbilical cord is attached, much like any other nutrient that passes through the mom into the baby, I think that you would have... Your baby would be very healthy in your body.
Do you think, like, a Windrunner could give an alcoholic dialysis and it would heal them?
What?
Like, if you filtered someone else's blood, like, through yourself as a Radiant, would the blood that you, like... use with the blood that goes through your body, would it heal them?
I have so many questions. Alcoholism is a mental condition, not a blood condition.
Sorry, I mean like the physical effects of consuming too much alcohol.
I mean, yes, obviously that would work. Why are you doing human to human dialysis?
Well, because they don't have machines. Unless they have a fucking that dialysis spren they can turn into oh my god, a Fabrial. You do what you gotta do, okay?
I'm so deeply confused by everything that you just said.
Why?
Why did your brain go to that?
I don't know.
And also, like...
Because, my brain went there.
You don't need to be an alcoholic to be drunk.
I'm not talking about being drunk. I'm talking about like liver failure.
No, just cleaning the alcohol out of your blood wouldn't. Oh, but
no, your liver stops cleaning out your blood. It stops being.
So
the filter
yeah.
You would if you hooked up someone to another person. Okay, my brain went here because we were talking about babies in wombs that are connected to another person, and so I was trying to think of an idea of what situation a person would be connected to another person in.
Well, no, but it wouldn't heal their liver problem. It would just clean their blood.
But would the Stormlight then go back in with if you are connected to the person who can use Stormlight, would it, because the Stormlight can heal the person that it comes from, would it be able to heal the person it's connected to?
No, because the tube isn't like a natural connection, it's an artificial connection.
What if it's made of flesh?
No, because...
What if it is a shard tube? And it's a spren? If Syl becomes a tube for dialysis.
Chris Hazelin says, is that the Rasharan equivalent to hemalurgy? Probably.
Yeah. Thank you for that super chat. Yeah, it made sense in my head, okay?
Would the Nile bond pass through DNA? Oh my god, you guys, we have to stop. I can't. This is genuinely too insane for me. I'm so sorry.
That's where you draw the line?
Yeah,
okay, that's weak sauce.
At trying to heal kidney failure through dialysis of Stormlight.
I think it makes perfect sense.
I think that is where it ends for me.
No, I think that makes perfect sense. Honestly, when we meet Brandon Sanderson, I'll ask him.
Please do. It would be wonderful for you to remember something for that long.
Oh, it's never going to happen. That's why I'm saying it out loud, so maybe you remember to tell me. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Could a Radiant even become pregnant in the first place? I think that depends if Radiants can get parasites. Well, because a fetus is like a parasite.
Nope. No, it's definitely not.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, it's something that feeds off the nutrients in your body, which is what a parasite is.
No.
So, like, would the Stormlight see a fetus as a, like, foreign object that was
Your body spends all month getting ready for it. It's not a foreign object. It is.
It's like a tapeworm. Like, would Stormlight heal a tapeworm? Would it kill the tapeworm?
Of course it would kill a tapeworm. It's not a baby.
Same thing.
Jesus Christ.
It's the same thing. It saps your nutrients. I don't know what to tell you. That it is literally the same thing. It just resides in different parts of your body.
You're awful.
It is a foreign object with different DNA. Like, it has some, like, obviously, like...
You're a bad person.
What do you mean?
You're a bad person.
Why?
Because you're trying to compare a fucking child to a tapeworm.
How are they not comparable? Because
one of your body actively is trying to do at all times. It is a biological imperative of your body.
Okay.
The other is trying to murder you.
Sometimes wombs will expel pregnancies because they see them as foreign objects.
Yes, and that is a tragedy.
Yeah.
But when you shit out a tapeworm, it's the best day of your fucking life.
I'm not saying saying the emotional connection to a tapeworm and a fetus is the same. I'm just saying that functionally inside your body.
Okay, well then how about we say this? If a Radiant wants to be pregnant, they can be pregnant.
Oh, they have to see
Yeah.
themselves as being like Kaladin has his tattoos, his brands.
Yeah, and so like if a Radiant doesn't want to be pregnant, then
They'll
they use
never get
the
pregnant.
mist.
That is the best. Oh my god, that is the best birth control.
Mistaprifstone. What is it? Mistaprifstone? Fuck, I was trying to say Mistaprifstone.
Yeah.
I was trying to make a funny joke. I totally bumbled
No,
it.
I got what the joke was supposed to be.
It's the
very
surge
good.
of Mistaprifstone.
Yeah. No, that's so interesting because
Damn
if
it,
a
I can't
Radiant
talk.
wants to be pregnant, then they can be like, yes, this is how I see myself being pregnant. But if a Radiant doesn't want to have a baby, it is the ultimate birth control because the Stormlight will be like, no, fuck that thing, get it out of your body. It doesn't belong there.
Great.
I'm glad we cleared that up. Thank you, Demetrios, for that discussion. I had a lot of fun with it.
Chris Billigan says, actually, tapeworms can be useful for weight loss.
Well, yeah, but also
Up until a certain point.
You would have to be taking so many like vitamins and stuff to fucking keep yourself healthy while also having the tapeworm.
It's really only until they lay eggs and those eggs get into your brain, and then it's a problem.
That is definitely a problem. But yeah, that's more parasites than just tapeworms.
Cool. Well, what a way to end this podcast. Rhythm of War. It's good.
But if you have an emotional attachment to your tapeworm. Here's the thing. If you are Radiant and you believe that tapeworm is a part of you and that's how you see yourself, then yeah, you can keep that tapeworm.
Okay. Chat. Clarice, rank this book.
Oh.
Where do you put it? All Cosmere, just Stormlight, whatever you want. But what do you think?
Are we doing all Cosmere or are we doing Stormlight?
Just Stormlight.
Okay.
4 Stormlight books so far. Give us a ranking.
Man, I think it's really tough. I'm still so conflicted about this book because, again, we've said this a million times. It has some of the best moments in it. Oathbringer is number 1.
Yeah,
I
agree.
think for both of us, that hands down, 100%. I don't know. Maybe I would put this at number... I'm so conflicted.
I can tell.
You do yours first.
Oathbringer.
Yeah.
Words of Radiance. Rhythm of War. Way of Kings.
Okay. Because I'm kind of like in the same spot, but I don't know if Rhythm of War is number 2 or number 3.
This book has lower lows to me than Way of Kings, but it has higher highs.
Yeah. Then Way of Kings or Words of Radiance?
I would say the high highs of this are similar to Words of Radiance's, but it has more lows than like Words of Radiance. Really, it's only like the end that drops it below Oathbringer to me, right?
Yeah, I honestly would I feel like I need to do a reread to like give a proper opinion on this, and also have some space away from book 4 because, again, it is very conflicting for me as a book. But yeah, I'm gonna say right now it is 3, 4, 2, 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. We both have Way of Kings on the bottom. It's interesting because a lot of people have Way of Kings like the best book ever.
Well, but here's the thing. I do love Way of Kings. Like, even with it being the last one, it's still like a fucking like...
It's in the 8s, for sure.
8.5 out of 10 at least. Yeah.
I think that this is like high 8s. I would comfortably put Words of Radiance at like a 9, and I would put Oathbringer at like a 9.5. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I think that they're all... If it, on a 1 to 5 scale, I would have all 4 of them above a 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
They're all between 4 and like 4.7.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's so valid.
Yeah. So, like, it's weird, right? Because, like, I complain all the time. I don't complain. I like to talk about things that I find interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't know if other people find them interesting, but I like to talk about them. But I do think these books are good. This one is frustrating at times, but it's also brilliant at times. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's book club. Clarus, we're going to do high-low for the whole book. Full book high-low.
Wowie zowie.
What's your high for Rhythm of War?
I think this is going to be very generalized, but my favorite part of this whole book was the Navani and Raboniel relationship.
Great. Love it.
Yeah. Those are always my favorite parts to read, even if it was, bogged down in sciencey stuff that I was like, meh. But I think that both of those characters separate are fascinating. Both of those characters together are fascinating. And every interaction that they had, I loved how it was written.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's my high for the whole book. What is your low?
I think my low, generalized again, is Brandon Sanderson. I think this book would have been better if he hadn't tried to structure it like a Stormlight book and had allowed it to have a structure that was a little bit more natural to the type of story he was trying to tell.
Yeah, sure.
I think that that's what it is. I think that I really like the idea of the story of Rhythm of War, and it's trying to fit it into the literal like placements of a Stormlight, the 5 acts with interludes, epigraphs. I think that this one, I wish he'd tried something else with the structure.
Yeah.
Because I think the story would have benefited from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys all know that my low is the flashbacks. Didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I don't like what it means for Venli and her character journey. That is personal preference.
No, 100%. Yeah.
What is your high for the whole book?
For the whole book.
We got our mortgage.
That is our high. My high for the whole ass book is tough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Adlin and Maya, and the way that played out.
So
I really, really, really liked.
that was the long game.
Yeah.
From Sanderson for sure. That paid off really well.
Yeah, I think that it's the thing I think about most when I think about Rhythm of War. I like, but both the trial scene, but also the fight where they fought together.
Mm-hmm.
How cool it was when she joined up with him, and what like the Adlin is my favorite character in these books, and he really cemented this book for me. And getting to this point with him, he's not in the last couple book clubs really, but Adlin and Maya to me.
We love a wife guy,
I love a wife guy. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely was into that.
He's like, it's fine that you lied to me, Shalon. You told me the truth eventually.
Yeah. Wolfie says, when is the next book club? Book club is going to be on the 29th of August.
August 29th.
We will be covering...
We're going to be covering The Lost Metal.
The Lost Metal.
So however that's going to be split
Part
up.
1 probably, or something like that.
Yeah, we're going to let the audience decide that.
It will be the day after we get our house.
It will be, yeah.
Audiobook reactions that week might be tough.
I know. But we'll
figure it out. If you want audio reactions in the first part, you need to have them to us by tomorrow, so that we can make a schedule.
Let's say by Monday, just to give people a moment. Not everyone's here. Not everyone is watching this book club now.
But you leave for Ireland Monday.
I know.
Okay.
But we can't start them until I get back anyways. Like.
All right.
Yeah.
All
look,
right.
Here's the thing. And I don't know. Should we put a cap? Like, should we say like at max, like 4 or 5?
I don't think people are going to go crazy for the first part of Lost Metal, so I'm just not that worried.
I don't think so either, but y'all went fucking bonkers for the end of this book, so...
The prologue is the free one? Okay.
Oh, great. Well, then we can, like, record that reaction before I leave this weekend. Like, that's easy enough. Yeah.
We'll say by Monday by Sunday at midnight is the deadline for reaction commissions.
Yes, please. It's just going to be real crazy.
Yeah, we get the house. It's your birthday. It's a bunch of things.
I'm in Ireland Monday through Friday for, like, a little, like, girls trip. And then Fan Expo is that weekend, Saturday, Sunday. If you're going to be around, we'll be around those 2 days. Then my birthday is literally on Tuesday. And then we get the house on Thursday. And then we are then a book club for Friday. It's your birthday. Hell yeah.
Whose birthday?
Arzu's on the 29th.
No way. We're going to have an Arzu birthday book club?
Yeah. It'll be
Hell yeah.
It'll be a double birthday book club.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us. This was very fun. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is...
Cultivation.
Damn.
Yeah.
Teaching Odium how to be a bad guy. If you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
Do something nerdy tonight. Clarus. Any missing smut corners? Any places we didn't add sex that we should have?
I mean, obviously when Dalinar gets to Urithiru, there's some, like, Bondsmith boning.
Bondsmith boning.
Yeah.
I also think the 5-some between Testament, Maya, Aelin, Shallan, and Pattern is a weird night.
Yeah, because Aelin and Shallan just fuck, and then they have 3 people who watch them. Like,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
2 of them are cryptics. There's 2 there's like a harmonized
Yeah.
Shallan.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Honestly, I don't like it.
The rhythm is a pattern.
The thrusting rhythm?
He was trying to be a little bit more coy than that, but yes.
Oh, okay. I was just
Yeah.
checking. Wanted to make
Yeah.
sure I got the joke, you know?
Y'all, thank you so much for another wonderful episode of Book Club. This was very, very fun. I
yeah.
really appreciate you all being here.
Thank you for the questions.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. But what?
Yes.
Right now on the Nerdy Nightly, we have the new reaction to Alien Earth, episode 2. So if you could go give that a like since it's new.
Are you going to drop the link?
I'm going to drop the link really quick in the chat
Hell yeah.
because
That's fair.
it is episode 1 did okay, but not amazing. So if we could get some energy for these,
Give it some love.
that
thank
would be
you.
very kind of you.
Thank you, mods, for everything.
As always.
Yeah, we appreciate the heck out of you. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. There's
See you
that
then.
link in the chat.
Back to Mistborn we go.
Back to
Scadrial. Do something nerdy tonight, y'all.
Okay,
Bye.